All right, I hope everybody's having a good day. Sorry for the delay. I needed to get a few more ducks in a row before we started all this. And, well, we're going to get to that shortly. So let's go ahead and get into this. I hope everybody's having a good day. Again, I am terribly sorry that I was not able to do this yesterday like I initially planned. Had some things come up. So let me go ahead and put this where I need to, because my brilliant self did not spread the link around while I was preparing in the back end. And then I'll tell you what's going on, because this is going to be fun. Because there's few things I find more amusing than grown men playing victim. Especially grown men that are older than me and have plastic addictions, because why worship God when you can worship plastic? Oop. And I'm going to put this in a very special place as well. A certain group on Facebook. Do. Boop. All right, so let me get to the real quick super chats that started a couple days ago. Where's the other? Well, I can't find the other gentleman right now, but somebody else sent me a super chat, and I appreciate that. They did that yesterday, so let me go ahead and pull that up. Earn. Supers. Sonico Denon said for $5, "Thank you for all the fabulous video on Soy Toy Boys, and I thought the comics community was full of drama queens." Oh, you have no idea. And Boogie Fan for $2 said, "Hey, I know it's off topic, but is Cartoon She okay?" Yes, he's currently spending a day with some friends IRL, which is a good thing. So, time for some context, because we love context here, don't we? Okay. As some of you know, I am a toy collector. I'm an old man. I was born in the 80s, all that stuff, which means that obviously I'm going to collect action figures. I'm going to be fond of 80s properties like Thundercats, Transformers, He-Man, and to a much lesser extent, G.I. Joe. So, what happened here? What are we covering today? Well, there is a bit of a kerfuffle in the toy community, because if there's one thing I've learned about toy community people, is a lot of them never actually grew up. And in fact, instead of being sensible and putting their moral values over their collections or whatever, they just replaced whatever they could that is worthy of worship, like God, with, oh, I don't know, plastic. That's right, action figures. They're the more important thing. To the point to where if you take shots at a company or somebody whose product they like, they lose their minds and they do all sorts of horrific things. And if you respond to their horrific things in any way, shape, or form, they cry victim. I believe the term they use in a modern term is a cry bully. And who exemplifies that? Well, we've seen a few people like that. Boog Nice is one of them. Talker art to a point. Which, by the way, I've really upset Boog Nice. He's very, very mad at me. And it's kind of funny because he's a grown man who, while hating Trump supporters and saying that saying a gay guy or a straight guy is gay is the most insulting thing you can say to him, will back up somebody like Iron Kin? Huh. He doesn't have consistent morals is what I'm getting at. None of these idiots ever do. That's why they are the way they are. So, what happened in this case? Well, there was a conflict. And this conflict was over a year ago. And for some reason, angry little baby man boy decided to make a video about it this year. And I decided to do a little bit of digging. Just a little bit of digging. And I found out that a lot of the information he's put in this is factually incorrect. And I'm going to enjoy making a fool out of him, because that's what I do. You see, this individual is named Kenny Kapnick. At least I believe that's how you pronounce his last name. He is a vendor at Joe Fest, which is where all the G.I. Joe fans go when they're not busy crying because nobody actually cares about the 3 3/4 inch line. So, yay. Hold on, I gotta respond to this person. So let's look at this specimens video. Specimens video. Now, this little thing we're going to get into, this is a shot at Bobby Vala, because a lot of the G.I. Joe fans are really, really mad at Bobby Vala, the owner of Action Force, the IP owner of Action Force, because he does a military toy line that can slightly compete with G.I. Joe, and he's not super ultra mega nice and kind and filleting whatever toy maker, and they just don't like him. So their response to him being critical of other toy lines is to attack him on a personal level, and we're gonna have fun with that.
What's up, everybody? Cousin Kenny back again. This time, no toys.
You ain't my cousin. And here's what these people tend to do. They try to give themselves some sort of feeling of comfortness. I'm Cousin Kenny. Buddy, you wouldn't survive in my family, because they wouldn't tolerate your nonsense. Like, the Hispanic side of my family just wouldn't talk to you.
I'm going to try out a new segment on the channel called Talking Shit.
Being a baby with baby rage.
You know, this is something that I've been meaning to get around to doing for a while, but contrary to the beliefs of certain egomaniacal toy makers.
Do you know what that word means, egomaniacal? Because you don't use words properly this entire time, and we're going to have fun with it.
Toy makers. The world doesn't revolve around them, and I have a really busy life, but that's...
really busy life. That's why you're able to do some of the stunts you talk about in this, which we're going to get to. It's going to be fun.
People have been circulating some clips around lately, and I heard this loser that sits around on YouTube for like 3 or 4 hours a week talking shit about people more talented than him. You know, I figured...
Citation needed, evidence required. Can you tell me who's more talented than him, and can you give me demonstrations of their talent being greater than his? The answer is no. You're just mad that he criticizes people because you like their product.
If he can take time out of running his $1 million toy company, which, by the way, can we stop and say, he's bragging about a $1 million toy company 2 years ago before shipping any product, and the product is shipped, and we're still talking about a $1 million company. When you want to shoot for some growth?
Well, I mean, technically now he's talking millions, plural, but I know you have a hard time hearing because your brain doesn't work right. And if you have a problem with a dude spending 2 or 3 hours of his free time just talking about what he wants, why is it that never consistent with people who complain about it? The level of argument there is just absolutely stupid. It's just dumb. There's a word for it, but I can't keep it in my mind right now. Shoot. Fallacy of relative privation. That's what it is. It's essentially the same argument as, if you're mad about X, then why aren't you mad about Y? Well, if you can spend time with X, why are you doing Y? It's a dumb argument from dumb people.
At some point, or are sales really that bad? You know, I hear, oh, I'm busy running $1 million.
Wait, hold on. If he has time to spend on a podcast, wouldn't that mean his toy sales are good and that he has a reliable, trusted team that does his job without him being there micromanaging them? I mean, you run like some sort of store, right? Or something like that. Oh, who is this? Who messaged me? Ah, you. I will wait for a response. Anywho.
A toy company, and I'm not on his tank like all you losers, and like, no, but you are on YouTube for like 3 or 4 hours a week, just
as opposed to his tank where you guys are literally losers. His tank is a G.I. Joe message board, and here's the fun thing. This week, the Valaverse Action Force thread got so ugly and terrible about all these genuinely insane man-baby adults, they actually shut the thread down and purged it and started a new one. And then what they did was they started calling other people snitches. God forbid people have to follow rules. Babies. I love it when adults get so mad about that. You snitched on me for not following rules. That's pathetic.
Talking shit, talking about other dudes' genitals all the time. And like, really weird stuff. And I said, you know what, if this loser can take 3 or 4 hours a week.
Hold on. Let's see that again.
Like, really weird stuff. No, but you are on YouTube for like 3 or 4 hours a week, just talking shit, talking about other dudes' genitals all the time.
Bobby Vala writing to Lenny's penis. What are you going on about? Can you provide receipts for anything you had to say, or is that just impossible?
And like, really weird stuff. And I said, you know what, if this loser can take 3 or 4 hours a week to run his mouth.
Dude, when we get into you, I don't think Bobby's a loser here. Could he take it down a notch? Yeah. Not going to deny that, but dude, you have been butt mad about this for a long time, and it wasn't even initially directed at you. You are genuinely pathetic.
Mouth on YouTube, and if he can take 2 or 3 hours a week to run his mouth on Facebook, I can take an hour out of my week between being a dad and running one of the biggest toy stores in the country, and set the record straight and talk a little bit of shit. So this is the primer. I've got a timer here, and I'm going to do my best in like under 2 minutes to kind of catch people up before I dive into the topic of the video. So.
Which he does with no script, so he has to try to make it up on the fly.
Bobby Vala was a jobber at Hasbro until they kicked him to the curb. I first became aware of him.
Citation needed, evidence required, because generally they don't give jobbers severance pay. I know you have a hard time understanding that because you're not actually in the industry. You just resell other people's old toys. All right? So I don't think you have a place to talk there. You're just really mad. And because you're a grown child, you don't know how to deal with it.
And when he was selling a bunch of Hasbro prototypes at Joefan, there's one right there. I know where a bunch of the other ones went too. Strangely, that was never in the cease and desist letter. Anyways.
Okay, and why don't you tell them why you got a cease and desist letter? And I mean the actual truth here, because I have it. You don't. And Gussie, if you think Val is a jerk, you're welcome to. I'm a jerk too.
He got let go from Hasbro, but not without taking a couple things with him, like the knowledge that a 6-inch G.I. Joe line was coming, a couple expired trademarks, and he went Kickstarter.
Okay, and how is this a negative exactly? He had industry knowledge. But I thought he was a jobber. So he bought some things from Hasbro, and that's a bad thing? You buy stuff from Hasbro all day long. I mean, don't think I don't notice that stuff behind you.
Went Kickstarter with a 6-inch military line called Action Force. Not the real Action Force, but a new.
Okay, not the real Action Force. What is the real Action Force? You mean the line from, like, what, the 70s through the 80s? That got co-opted into a G.I. Joe line? Go away. That's the real Action Force? It's just taking a trademark that they don't use anymore.
Action Force that uses the name. Sort of like somebody dancing around your dead friend's skin. But anyways.
Is that something you get up to? Because I wouldn't know about that.
Kickstarter failed. Blamed it on 4-inch collectors. Kickstarter came back. Squeaked across the finish line. Then he announced that he had a Slaughter figure.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna have to shift some of this stuff. Hello, you are live.
Hello.
Okay, so now because you are here, let me go ahead and
stream it.
You want me to just stream it? Okay, I'll try.
Yeah, just show me the thingy-majiggy.
The thingy-majiggy-majig. We have Hopeless Peaches here with us because she must be extremely bored.
No, I'm not bored. I try to go to sleep, and then I try to go to sleep.
You try to go to sleep, and then you try to go to sleep.
So, hello everyone. I'm here because I see that he's like streaming cringe. I see that he's like failing at life.
Always.
So, and the reason why I sound like this is because I'm on painkillers. Thank you. That is part of the reason why I couldn't quite sleep, because even with painkillers, I had massive shooting of pain up my entire life.
Well, the chat's happy to see you.
Hopefully this will be... Of course, the chat's happy to see me, because you guys know that I'm cooler than whatever this dog does. So...
This is true.
Tell me what's going on. Don't give me like a big rundown, because I don't care, but like...
TLDR...
I heard cease and desist letter.
TLDR, some dumb idiot started a fight, and whenever he gets any sort of consequences, he makes himself out to be a victim.
Oh, okay, just like everyone else. Okay.
Yep. Trying to run a harassment campaign, and when he gets called on it, he acts like it's a surprise that people are mad at him. So, let's continue.
I believe that he was the only one who could make a Slaughter figure. Sent some cease and desist to people over mean things they said on the internet.
Prove it? Do you have any evidence? Any solid evidence of this claim here? Because you don't actually provide anything, from what I recall. So let's see here.
And then summer 21, another peer in the industry, Eric Aranya, made a Facebook post on his personal profile, which Bobby was blocked from, about the Mattel Ultimate Slaughter, saying, look at this Sergeant Slaughter, it's awesome, except no imitations.
Yeah, so here's the thing. He says, welcome to the slaughterhouse, the real Sergeant Slaughter and all his G.I. Joe glory, except no imitations, except that, like, this isn't G.I. Joe Slaughter. This is literally the figure that they used to... It has the W wrestling logo. That's not even like the Joe Slaughter. It's a wrestling slaughter. So he's wrong to begin with. So doggone stupid.
So this is all about toys?
Yep, this is all about toys.
Where did the cease and desist letter come from?
He hasn't gotten to it yet. We'll get there, though.
Wait, but you mentioned it.
Yes,
Excuse me? Oh, were you doing a little, like, ooh, tee that's gonna happen later thing?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm sorry for not understanding that.
It's okay. The thing is, like, the cease and desist orders he's talking about, I don't have a physical copy of the order, but I do know why it was sent, and I know that he's, like, actively lying about why.
How do you know what he... Okay, you're like, wait until it gets there, then you can pull out your fucking magic secrets.
Well, the reason why I know he's lying about it is, number one, context clues, and number two, I talked to the dude who sent the cease and desists.
Wait, so if he's like Junkman, did he pretend to be like a child?
To my knowledge, he has yet to pretend to be a 14-year-old self-harming girl to scam people out of electronics and action figures.
Then he's not Junkman, is he, guys?
No,
he's
but
not
he
even
does.
Cool enough to do that.
Cool enough. Fantastic. Anyways.
Yeah.
All right, so here's the actual post, since he just scrolls through it real quick. Here's what Bobby said. Disclaimer. If you are easily offended and can't handle someone standing up for themselves, then move along. This post is not for you. Your comments are not needed either, which is what he had at the beginning of this video to take a shot at Bobby. He says, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Eric Aranya. He's blocked me, otherwise I'd tag him. Eric is what you call a useless human and a waste of oxygen. Just like a neutered dog, Eric has no balls. Eric is your typical douchebag that attacks people for not liking his views. Eric thought he was being clever and snarky with his post yesterday about the new Mattel Sergeant Slaughter figure. Unfortunately, he failed miserably. Eric is insinuating that the Action Force Sergeant Slaughter is an imitation, because he did put it out there making that shot at Bobby. Well, dummy, I have contact with Sarge, so it all makes it pretty real. Why don't you go tell Sarge you think his Action Force figure is an imitation? Oh wait, you are a coward with no balls and would never do that. Funny part is, he is calling the Action Force version an imitation, yet he's referencing a Mattel WWE figure posing as the G.I. Joe version. Who's the imitator now? Unlike the name of your line, this is Toy Collector Nerd
They're all
stuff.
they're crying over Barbies.
Oh my
They're
goodness.
crying over Barbies.
Can we get through this, please?
What the fuck?
Can we get through this, please?
I'm sorry. It's just I see Mattel, I see grown men crying about it. I go, just like, the toys, just like play with them.
The individual making this post is the actual owner of a specific toy line that these people are like trying to take shots at. That's why he responded like this. Anyways.
Well, still, he can play with his toys.
Well, we all play with the toys. Unlike the name of your line, I am no hack, which is true. The name of this toy line is Hacks, or at least they have one called that. And I made a new version without ripping off anything. Also, the godfather of G.I. Joe, Ron Rudat, doesn't find this figure compelling, which is also true. Why don't you go tell Ron he is wrong? Maybe all of this is totally understandable. I have a line that is just starting out that has had over 1 million in sales, while his company does dead licenses, which also is true. They do a lot of dead licenses. I'm sure those Popeye and Flash Gordon sales are really covering the tooling. They're not. Or maybe he is just upset that he uses the same factory as me, which I have no knowledge of. Either way, Boss Fight will be out of business soon, but don't worry, you can have a job cleaning the toilets at Valaverse. Keep poking that bear, douche. One day, you will be face to face with that bear, and nothing will save you. Now go and wipe your tears with your Hawaiian shirt as you wake up every day realizing that Action Force is real, it's mine, and it's destroying everything you do. Now, I don't think this was necessary to put out. I can understand the frustration, because I know there's like background beef between Bobby and this other dude, who, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is the same dude that like got really mad about firearms despite running a G.I. Joe podcast, which is kind of like hating dresses and collecting Barbies. So that's what he's putting up on screen in this video. So I went ahead and read the whole thing out. So let me go ahead and pull it up. Going through it. Of course, he didn't read any of it.
Where he called himself a bear douche.
Well, of course not. Wait, so this guy is against the other guy?
Yes, this guy is against Bobby Valla, the guy who wrote that
So I'm against Bobby, whoever he is, for writing that.
Not necessarily against him, but you're also looking at this from an outside perspective, not knowing actual context for any of this.
I'm sorry, but when I had dolls, I had Bratz dolls, I chopped off their hair, made them go to war, and then they slowly drowned in the bath. Like,
Which is based.
I don't really collect them and put them in like little storage shelves. It's kind of sad that it's gotten to this point.
Well, this is what happens when people put their interest of action figures over basic civility, which unfortunately is what Bobby is responding to. He's responding to people who are doing that. Now,
Everyone's asking if I'm okay, but I just don't have the energy to like put on like
she's fine.
mask my voice.
She's fine, goofballs. Now, one thing that is funny here is Bobby does sometimes have a habit of misspelling people or things and not putting putting punctuation on things. So instead of saying bear, comma, douche, he did write out bear douche, which is what this guy decided to take shots at.
Where that came
Bear douche.
from. The internet started making fun of him, myself included.
What? Hold on. You say the internet started making fun of him, yourself included, but this isn't like the internet making fun of him. This is just a meme you made. Which, that's not evidence of other people making fun of him.
Chicken shit. Unlike some
Oh,
people
that's a
who run their
meme. That's cool. That's based.
mouth.
I agree with him. He has a meme.
Uh-huh.
Locked because they can't handle when people come back or try to get people banned from shows who call them on their bullshit.
Oh, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the banning people from show stuff because this dude here, I have receipts that he's a lying piece of garbage.
I tagged Bobby in some of the memes on Instagram directly. We had some stats in our DMs.
Okay, so Bobby says, riding my dick pretty hard, very hypocritical of you to support Eric, who might be one of the most toxic people on the planet. This doofus, Kenny, responds, it's not supporting Eric to mock ridiculousness. If you can't handle criticism and being in the spotlight, be quieter then. Ironically, I disagree with Eric politically and his handling of folks, but you're apparently pretty immature and thin-skinned. Don't do things worth making fun of, then get mad when folks make fun of it. Well, we'll see if he owns that, because he does some pretty goofy things we're going to make fun of today. Okay, why did he skip past that? There's a part that's missing.
Yeah, just you can use the toggle it with the yeah. Basically, if you slow it down, slow down the playback speed, and then use your keys to click through. You'll be able to do it. Yeah.
Oh, hold on.
Oh yeah, he did do a cut. That was weird.
It doesn't surprise me.
He just flat out cut.
Doesn't surprise me though with this guy.
Yeah, I just want to know why Vignano was mentioned.
What? Vignano?
You'll see. Vignano.
Shows.
Oh, the point. Alright. Okay, again the
Really, really good editing here, buddy. You had all the time in the world to do this, and this is how you do it. It's immature and thin-skinned to respond when someone tags me in their joke. Okay, bud. Interesting that you cut right there. Now, he didn't continue scrolling. There's something up here. There's something up here we can't see. So Bobby responds to whatever that is. I love how since I have my own Go ahead. You want to read it?
No, you read it. I can't read.
Okay. I love how since I have my own company, it excludes me from standing up for myself and giving someone some crap. Didn't know there was a rule that I have to turn the other cheek and be the bigger man or have thicker skin. You effing tools that have a problem with the way I do things are the ones with salt in your vagina. Grow a pair and get over it.
Ugh.
That's right, you stupid effing know-it-all. The Joefan crowd is the only one that knows me. I'll laugh when you are scalping my stuff at the show. Which, by the way, he admits later on that he did scalp Bobby's stuff.
I hate that I asked you to read that. That made me cringe.
Grow a pair and get over it, says the thin-skinned little gal that can't handle Eric's vague Facebook post or my crappy memes. Like you starting your post about how it's not for the easily offended when you're apparently the most easily offended dude on the planet. I don't know. I think, like... Whoa. Go ahead.
Well, bro, he just assumed that gender.
True. You can do whatever you want. You want to take a vague Facebook post as an attack on your company, you can. Ironically, most of us would never have known Eric even made that post if you hadn't made it or made it a big deal. Actually, you guys would have, because you guys are obsessed with finding anything you can to throw at Bobby. I'm not saying you're wrong for reacting, but you just did. I'm just saying it's an overreaction. Oh, she cut again. What a scumbag.
Isn't it weird though? Like, I will say on like both their sides, because again, I jumped in, but the fact that both of them are using language to feminize the other as a way to say that they're weaker just shows that they're both just bratty children.
I did criticize that for the other two people I covered last week between Articulated Ninja and Ken. It's not something I agree with doing. See here.
Like, I'm a woman, and I'm pretty sure I have bigger balls than the both of them.
Let's see here. You want to discuss the merits of that? You can. In the meantime, he cut it again. I'm going to have it. He cut it there. Yo, douchebag, you want to meme all you want about crap I posted for your sub 400 followers? Fine. But posting our direct conversation is a complete jerk-off mood. I'm sure you'll post this now and make some joke about having thin skin, so go to it, loser. Personally, I don't care about DMs being posted on my end. So, like, I can understand, though, that Kenny would absolutely use that to make more comments, because that's just who this guy is. As opposed to popping off to your private cult Facebook group over Eric's vague Facebook post. Who's the bigger jerk-off? LOL, Christ. Have you ever been self-aware a day in your life? I've never met someone with 1 million sales, but is this fragile? Yes, you have. Every single person that you have stood up for is fragile. Every last one of them. It's why Brian from Super 7 can't handle any criticism without losing his doggone mind. Like, you may think Bobby's bad, but he's got nothing on how Brian responds to things. Brian will actively rip people off and then shrug it off in interviews like it's no problem.
Damn, bro.
Anyways, if I'd known you'd had this much sand in your vagina, I've been cranking out memes for a while. You know, I don't think sand in vaginas makes women angry. I think it just makes them uncomfortable. But I wouldn't know. Don't have to. Keep clowning yourself, man. I don't care about...
keep using the same insults to one another. Like, come on, get some variety. I feel like I'm watching Lio in Senate right now. Like, it's the same 5 insults.
Yeah, but at least with me it's one person. Keep clowning yourself, man. I don't care about followers. They'll make it to His Tank and Reddit all on their own. Ah, yes, His Tank and Reddit. Fantastic.
Well, yeah. Yours are like trademark. Like, it wouldn't be you if you didn't say, like,
mentally
the same 5 things. Yeah, if you didn't say mentally stunted half-wit, then I think I would be terrified that the body snatches happen. But, like, these two are just saying, like, oh my god, and then they just keep ping-ponging the same 2 lines to one another. It's so embarrassing.
Well, I need to get another 20 different catchphrases so you can at least do a bingo out of it. Anyways, keep clowning yourself, man. And I don't care about followers. They'll make it to His Tank and Reddit all on their own. Because that's what these people do. They do care about followers and who sees things. But when making memes is dick riding. And where'd it go? And an industry professional acts like a high schooler. That crap is funnier than any meme I can make. Hold on. Why is it Bobby's acting like a high schooler, but Eric isn't and you're not? That's amazing.
They're literally saying the same things.
Are they going to call each other gay? Not sure what...
Can they please just kiss already?
Ew, no. Not sure why you care. I've got sub 400 followers. I mean, they cross-post to my 500 Facebook friends, but that's probably not even 800 after you pull doubles. Doubles? You working double shifts? And really, the joke... I hate you.
He's just not going to show everything. It's just, you're not going to find it.
Well, I wanted to finish reading that. Sneaky nonsense.
As fucking Einstein, I'm sorry, I've lost you. Amy Yaku says, if the arrow keys don't work while you're paused, use the period and comma keys. It'll literally go frame by frame.
There's arrow keys you can use?
Yeah, I've been telling you this. You ignored me.
I didn't ignore you. I didn't know what you were referring to.
No, I think the period and comma keys can go frame by frame while the video is paused.
Interesting. All right, so we're gonna just continue.
So do that.
Well, I guess we can try.
Okay.
We can try. Let's see here.
Well, there's not going to be anything there, but I'm just saying if you wanted to.
It would still teach me. Let's see here. Back to this again because he throws it all so doggone quick. Okay.
Yeah, so use the little keys.
Man,
The little
that
keys.
I think that doesn't even work here because that's what I'm doing, and it's jumping like seconds,
Oh, are you
which is too
using
much.
are you using the arrow keys or the
Yeah.
period and comma? No, use the period and comma key.
Okay. Ooh, thank you. I got okay.
Yeah, no problem.
And really, the Joefan crowd are the only folks that even know who you are. Well, that's not true. Like, the dude sells a lot of stuff and ain't just the Joefan crowd. And they all know what to expect out of you anyways. Yeah, apparently they expect quality figures because they keep ordering? This guy's dumb. All right.
This is the weirdest. This is
No, it's
the
not.
weirdest thing ever.
No, it's not. You've seen weirder. Moving on.
His lawyer sent me a cease and desist letter.
Okay, so let's see if we can
Oh
go through
damn, that's a cool cease and desist letter. I love it so much.
Please be advised we represent the interests of Bobby Vala individually and his respective bands Valaverse, Steel Brigade, and Action Force hereinafter collectively client with regard to your infringement of our client's intellectual property rights and your defamation of Mr. Vala and his respective brands. It has come to our attention that you are making unauthorized use of Mr. Vala's likeness and image to further you are using the Valaverse, Steel Brigade, and Action Force name and logo marks for the purpose of publicizing and commercializing your own parody brand, Kennyverse, under fair use doctrine and or the First Amendment. After a thorough review of your website Kennyverse and the content therein, we are clear that your website and the content therein fall afoul of the protections granted by the First Amendment and the fair use doctrine. Your site and the illustrations, content, and images are satires at best and not afforded the same protections as parodies. Camville via Scroff Rose Music, blah blah blah. Further, your use of our client's actual logos and toy images are infringement of our client's intellectual property rights. Our client is not authorized to use of said images and remarks. So he's using Bobby's brand stuff. So, our client expressly and explicitly reserves all rights to their intellectual property and the use of the same in any and all mediums. Your use of our client's name, image, likeness, logos, and our toy images without permission or authorization, commercially or otherwise, is a willful infringement of our client's rights. We demand that you immediately cease and desist from using our client's image, likeness, and any other intellectual property in any and all forms of mediums, and further that you destroy any work or video or document that contains his name, image, likeness, the logos, or any other intellectual property, and further that you desist from this or any other infringement of our client's rights in the future. So far, if that's what this guy did, and I don't think Bobby's in the wrong for that. So,
where they claimed that it wasn't parody, it was, I don't know. The lawyer clearly didn't understand parody and satire.
That's why he was able to cite the law in the case to you, because he didn't understand it? You know, just because you think he's wrong doesn't mean that he's ignorant. He's a lawyer. That doesn't mean he's right inherently, but if you can't tell me how he's wrong based on what he cited, that's kind of goofy.
They said that...
I think you know what I think is weird?
What?
You can write your own cease and desist letters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why did he hire some fucking...
Because he's an actual
moron to write it for him?
Well, number one, he actually owns a business, and that is what his attorney is
Wait,
for.
Who?
Bobby Vala.
Wait,
that's the guy he's beefing
Bobby?
with that sent him the cease and desist.
I thought he was the one. I'm sorry. I thought he was.
You
the one
are
who sent
tired.
one.
You are tired.
They're both the same. They literally speak the same. I'm fully convinced that that is just like a weird, like, it's like M. Night Shyamalan Split, and they're just arguing with one another.
They're not. This guy is like genuinely a scumbag. Like they may need to spruce
well,
up their insults.
I thought that it was.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I thought it was him who sent the cease and desist. Like, you don't need to like burn through money to do that. It's literally cease and desist letter. You don't need to do that.
No, that Bobby Vala sent it to this guy because this guy was using property rights that were not his, and it didn't fall under fair use and parody. That's why Bobby sent that. So, anyways,
see, Gara lady actually gets it. I am on pain meds. That's why I'm not bothering to put on the up and down of my voice. It's a bit too. No, this is how I normally sound. So.
It is. Anyways,
I just try not to sound like it because it confuses people about what I actually feel and emote, because I do have emotions. It's just doesn't come out normally unless I try, but I'm on meds, so I'm not bothering.
All right, so let's continue because we still got like 40 minutes to go.
But don't worry, I'm not dying. Is what I'm saying.
We got 40 minutes.
Mine was defamation.
Oh, sorry. Speed up.
I am. It's 2
also,
minutes.
I see retro blasting. Love to you too, bro. Thank you very much. I do deserve a holiday.
Yes, she does. Anyways. Okay, so he didn't post everything here. Our client is in this trade professional, standing up in the toy manufacturer community by creating a false impression that he steals his toy characters' ideas and names and designs, more commonly referred to as false light or defamation. So what this guy's claiming is that Bobby stole all the stuff on screen, even though Bobby bought the rights to Action Force legally from Hasbro. So to this guy, buying rights is the same as stealing trademarks. What a moron. And posting more of your bad memes doesn't prove you're right. I just want to go ahead and say that.
Sold some shirts. Gamers.
Yes, you sold shirts that are in his specific font that he has trademarked. And again, you sold them. That's part of the problem. Yeah, that's his font. He has that legal right.
Uh-huh.
Action Force is a military toy line that Bobby Vala has been putting out for the past couple years now.
Gave that money to charity. Raised $300 for something about bullying.
While doing targeted harassment, aren't you a hero? Again, you sold things that weren't yours. It's part of the problem. That's why you got a C&D. How does somebody sit there and admit the illegal thing they did while saying it wasn't illegal?
Challenged Bobby to match it. He didn't. Mutual friend. Negotiated a ceasefire.
Okay, just sent an image of them shaking hands.
This guy just keeps sending memes.
I was just sent this. Bobby says, this is effing gold. I wish I was a Goldberg, but this is amazing. I know nothing about wrestling.
Lasted for a couple months. I got some product in. I tried to give a fair, friendly review of the product.
Okay, love the soy face.
So much soy.
And he started just...
Which, by the way, doesn't affect male hormones. You can have as much soy as you like. My lactose intolerant bros.
Anyways, trying to get to the meat of things here.
And most notably, a friend of mine who he sent a handwritten letter with his Kickstarter order with like a 2-year-old Facebook screenshot from the comment section of a long forgotten post.
Yeah, because what happened is this guy, Ryan Meltzer, a very angry little boy, was upset because the first Kickstarter that Bobby tried to do for Action Force didn't fund. So he runs his mouth and then supports the second one. So he says, yeah, it's too late for me to get a refund from the Kickstarter, but I've disliked him pretty much since he blamed his customer base for failing the first time around. Of course, no evidence of that. Pretty much every time I see a post from him, it gets worse. He has zero idea how to not be an F-face. Now, somebody like this is so used to running their mouth publicly and getting literally nothing in response. So when somebody does this, this guy is not expecting to ever have these words thrown back at him. So what did Bobby do? Bobby found his order, printed out the screen cap, and wrote him a little note. Because this guy was talking trash about Bobby, but still ordering his stuff. He said, bet you backed it the second time? Toys over principles? Now, what you could pick on Bobby a little bit for is spelling the word principles wrong in this situation. But if you have the principle, if you have the principle that you don't want,
sounds like I do,
right? Well, you're British, but anyways, if your principle,
no, well, that's still wrong. I'm just shit English.
If your principles are you're not going to back him because you don't like him as a person, then why are you buying his stuff? And you're not even doing it like I am, so you can tear into it like via an actual objective review. You're just doing it because you got an addiction problem. And this man who had previously, Kenny, this guy, had previously had a ceasefire, stopped any hostility, saw this happen, and got all offended over it. Thanks for your order. Here, what was the last thing? Because he cut it. P.S. If you asked for a refund, you might have gotten one. Okay? So he didn't even ask for a refund.
Wait, what is going on? So this guy, like, bought toys?
I will break this down for you, okay? Pay attention.
Yeah, please, because I'm really dumb and slow.
The two guys that I'm covering today, Bobby Vala, who owns Action Force, and this guy, Kenny Kopnick. Kenny has been harassing Vala for a while. Yeah. They had a ceasefire between the two of them. And then this other individual that Kenny knows had this message put in his order from Vala Action Force, pointing out that he's inconsistent with his values and puts action figures over his principles.
Okay, so Kenny's being sussy.
Yes. What the heck? Don't do that to me! Jump scared me! But no, unfortunately, we will take a vote at the end of this on whether or not Kenny here is Knuff. I don't think he's going to be. But this, keep in mind, this is the guy who said, you don't need to overreact to talking trash. This is the guy who's getting offended on behalf of this friend of his, right? So here we're gonna listen more because we still got like plenty of time on this video, and we have another one we have to go through after this.
So I said, fuck this douchebag. Ceasefire's over. I'm gonna start making fun of him again.
My friend had his words thrown back at him. Ceasefire over! To war!
I really don't like it when people clown on my people. You know.
Oh, he doesn't like when people clown on his people, but he's fine clowning on other people's people. That's interesting. That's cry bully.
Yeah, because don't steal a phrase I told you about.
You gave me the phrase. You told me to use it.
Yeah, I did, but like I'm fickle.
Yes, you are.
You know what I mean?
So another meme from him. My designs are super original. I'm gonna make the greatest toys ever and destroy everything you do. Really? Please, bro, say my toys are original. Please say sorry for not thinking they're original, even though I marketed them as homages. Please, bro. Dude, you're getting like all up in the paint about Bobby's designs not being quote unquote original. The G.I. Joe line that you worship isn't any more original. Do you really think that a Marine wearing just a vest and no shirt's original? Do I need to call like the village people over? What's going on here? Oh, and having a ninja and the stuff, that's really original. Please. Freaking moron. Same guy who thinks that Bobby Vala stole Action Force when he bought the IP.
Oh, wait.
Yes?
So he just thinks that this guy stole something he bought?
Well, yes, that's the claim he's making. That Bobby Vala stole Action Force even though he bought the freaking IP.
Oh, so this guy's a silly. So he thinks that Disney stole Star Wars.
Yeah, probably.
And ripped it off and should be sued.
Well, he does have a subscription to Jordan Peterson, so I know he doesn't know how to clean his room.
What? I don't understand what that means.
Don't worry, you don't.
That's a reference that went right over my
Don't
head.
worry, the chat will know.
And hip.
The chat will know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, that pretty much catches us up. I think
that was more than 2 minutes.
As I recall, I want to say there were some behind-the-scenes attempts.
I will give him credit on something though.
What's that?
He didn't break his glass doors when he was putting those up.
True. Moving on.
And from Joe Fest.
Okay, but we do actually need to get through this, please.
Well, it's your fault for letting me on.
You would have killed me if I didn't.
No, I wouldn't have done.
Yes, you would have.
I would have just been in the chat taking the piss out of you.
All right, anyways, moving on.
As I recall, I want to say there were some behind-the-scenes attempts to get me banned from Joe Fest.
Oh, let's talk about those behind-the-scene attempts. Okay, so Bobby had messaged the Joe Fest owner about this dude's consistent targeted harassment. And the Joe Fest owner, Ed Schumacher, whom I have to get confirmation on some things. But Peaches, you know that one thing I always complain about whenever I look into drama that it always keeps coming back to? Don't say what it is, but you know what I always complain about? How I can't make fun of idiots anymore without something being involved?
Well, yeah. I
Okay.
get that.
Yeah.
No, did it happen?
It may have. I need to verify some things before I say anything like public about it. Right?
Cabbage dog, come soothe me.
So let's see here.
Take the demons from me, cabbage dog.
Okay, so he talked to Ed, and he sent Ed this message. Kenneth did. Hey, Ed, just wanted to reach out directly as professional. I know you work really hard to put Joe Fest on, and we vendors really appreciate that you put the work in to give us a solid Joe Show host club. I just wanted to let you know, as the promoter, I have no intention of causing a scene at your show. Remember this. I have no intention of causing a scene at your show. I'm here to sell toys, see my friends, and spend way too much money. It's a professional weekend for me, and I don't let personal conflict interfere with business. Keep this in mind. I just wanted to drop you.
Literally made a video.
I just wanted to. No, this is from last year. This is from last year.
Okay.
It's called Joe Fest because this is G.I. Joe related. Come on. I just wanted to drop you a line on the subject leading up to the show. This is in 2022. Looking forward to a great weekend. Thanks again, Kenny. Now, I wanted to make sure, because, Peaches, you know, the today thing is always a pain in the butt when looking at screen caps, right? So we have to verify when this was sent. So I asked for that verification. And here's the screen cap of it being sent to Bobby by text message by Ed, and the timestamp, June 22nd, 2022. Now, the event this moron is making this video about is Joe Fest of 2022. And he is promising he is not showing up to cause any problem. He is not going to do that. So we'll get into that shortly.
And it didn't work. During our ceasefire, we had like an hour-long conversation on the phone. I didn't record it. I said I didn't. I meant it.
Then why would you show fingers crossed if you didn't record it? Because if you did, feel free to post it.
But we talked about a lot of things. And one of the things we talked about was how deeply offended he was.
Maybe you were just being silly.
Maybe.
He forgets what the fingers sign means.
Well, yes, he was offended because you were using his company stuff. I wonder why.
To the point where he was like, if you wear that to the show,
Okay,
so
I'm going to sue you. And I'm like, you realize if I tell my friends this, if I tell people not to wear the shirt, it's just going to get worse. Like,
wait, hold on. So Bobby told you if you do this to the show, there's going to be legal repercussions. And you're like, well, if my friends find out, they're going to do it. Why don't you keep your friends in line? Why don't you tell your friends, hey, like, I don't want to get sued. Can you not? And maybe your friends will respect you. But they probably don't, because, I mean, it's you. Freaking stupid.
he has friends.
Well, he does, and they all look like trash bags.
Well, yeah, because they all collect toys.
you should get a shirt. Be in on the joke.
All right, so he told Bobby, well, you should get a shirt and be in on the joke. Which, if you guys are actually friends, that might work, but you're not, so no.
It'll roll over. Nothing. Can't tell this guy nothing, right? So, anyways, really hung up about the shirt.
Yes, it's him that can't be told anything while you're, like, doing targeted harassment. You're a smart guy.
Kept talking about how he doesn't want to have to see people running around wearing a Kennyverse shirt, which has to be really weird for Hasbro employees to see him walking around in shirts parroting their stolen IP. But anyways.
How was the IP stolen when he bought it? Do you know what words mean? So, by your value, all the stuff behind you, that's stolen, right? Like the Wuzzle in the background, the Power Ranger stuff, both, like, the vintage, all that weird, I guess, Star Wars stuff. Is that a bunch of Lando Calrissians? What's wrong with this dude? Like, all this stuff behind him, all stolen. You should call the cops and tell them, hey, some severely deranged toy collector stole a bunch of stuff.
It has to be really weird for Joel Schumacher to walk around and see Oliver's shirts. They clearly stole the Batman forever.
Cabbage Dog, 100% stolen right now.
Also, he's saying that, like, Valiverse stole the Joel Schumacher font, but I don't think he knows what art is, and I don't think he can tell shapes difference. Like,
it also depends on... Wait, he's saying... Okay, it's clearly very similar, right?
There are some similarities.
It's incredibly similar. Well, it's not some. It's basically nearly the same. But, like, it also depends on if they went out of their way to contact the person who made that font and asked if they could use it, because you can license fonts.
You can.
So, and,
but there
you know,
are,
like...
It seems like the most similar is the A, but there's also, like, likely enough changes in it.
Well, yeah, it's the A, the L's, and the E's.
There's only so many ways you can do those.
And the R's. Like, they're very similar. Like, it's not. It's literally like the difference between Arial and Arial Bold. It's very similar.
Well,
but it just also depends on it just depends on one. We, like, depending on copyright, everything's going to be different, right? And with fonts, I'm pretty sure it's a lot more lax than with, like, full illustration, because there's a lot more things that goes into it. And two, they could have even like licensed it to be able to do, like, a slight alteration. You don't know.
Well, not
but
just
the fact that he's talking about a font that obviously, if the font designer thought that it would be in bounds of copyright infringement, they would have took it up.
Well,
not some loser YouTuber.
There's also the fact that, like, there's also the difference between using something in one brand and another that avoids brand confusion. Like, there was a battery brand in the 80s called a Megatron, but because it didn't cross promote in any way or have any brand confusion with Transformers, it wasn't a concern. So again, this guy's claims just don't make any sense. He doesn't actually show any evidence for his claims, which is my issue on some of that.
It has to be really weird for Sergeant Slaughter to have to sign all these action figures when someone made him look like Popeye.
He also is really bad at editing.
Yeah, he is. And also, Vala versus Sergeant Slaughter is closer to what Sergeant Slaughter looks like now. Sergeant Slaughter's like 60, 70 years old. So, no, he's not going to look like the real American Hero version. And even that version didn't look like he did back in the day.
So, a friend of mine.
I have a
Yes.
I don't know if you're being serious about the response to Gilded Poo, but my response is that he owns Zooporn next.
Decided that my buddy Ryan, who got the aforementioned creepy letter from Bobby Vala, we got to talking and we started joking around about legal action force, right? Because it's like, he's legally action force, right? Like, according to his lawyers, he's legally action force, so we have to respect him as action force. But it's just legally action force, not really action force, right? Like, when we say action force, we mean...
You mean a toy line you don't actually care about? Okay.
Not.
And yet you'll still buy this new one. And you've admitted that you did the first wave and that you'll resell his stuff when it comes through your store. And plenty of the people who complain about Bobby also buy this stuff. So what do you mean that's what you mean but not this one? You guys still buy it desperately.
It's also funny because I think there are two other people that I know for sure that privately got cease and desist. Me, who went public with it, she told me it was a very, very naughty idea.
He told you it was a bad idea because it is really stupid to talk about how you put yourself in a corner, moron.
You're not supposed to post a cease and desist publicly, and it's a terrible idea, and that was the dumbest thing you could have done.
I mean, it is, because we're making fun of you over it.
We thought it was funny, because he's so hung up on legal action, right? I'm legally action force. I legally own Steel Brigade, my character.
Well, I mean, he does. He legally owns those things. Why does that offend you so much? Is it because Hasbro doesn't own the property, and now you can't do an official crossover with the G.I. Joe property? Is that what offends you? Wouldn't surprise me.
Why is everyone, like, always so offended, like, for Hasbro all the time?
I've told you. Because Hasbro is their god. That's what these people worship.
Right.
Okay, so it's like Sega.
Yes, it's like Sega and the Sonic fans. The closest thing to you.
Force. You're the
Goliath, I don't care. Go away.
Force of legal action, but you're also the legal action force. You're also legally action force. It's good stuff. Multi-layer joke. Really not that fucking hard, Kanye.
Okay.
Kanye West?
Yes.
You like fish sticks?
Yes, yet another meme from South Park. Aren't you brilliant?
Made some jokes.
Why does he keep using memes?
Because he doesn't have receipts. Because he doesn't have receipts. He's not a smart person.
Get some Breaking Bad memes. That'll get me on your side, no matter what. Like, you could literally do anything. As long as you got the Breaking Bad memes, get that, I'll be on your side. Don't worry about it.
Give me a second here. Send again message.
They're just being silly.
No, it's not being silly. Give me a second here.
No, I mean the whole thing about how they're like really upset with like Hasbro and stuff. It's so weird. Like upset about Hasbro, upset for Hasbro is what I should mean.
Yeah, I get it, because that's how these people operate.
And the shirts were made. Now, full disclosure, I took my Kennyverse shirt to JoeFest.
JoeFest, the place you said you weren't gonna cause any trouble, you intentionally took these shirts with you?
I took this shirt to JoeFest. I left them both in my bag. I was on best behavior. And
Wait, hold on. If you were on best behavior, why'd you bring them? Like at all, why'd you bring them?
Because he's a scumbag and he wants to wind people up for no reason because he's got no life.
But he said he wasn't going to cause any trouble. He told the JoeFest director this. Clearly, he wouldn't lie, would he?
You'd think he would someone go on the internet and tell lies?
that brings us to the Saturday when everything happened. Full disclosure, JoeFest is awesome. None of this has to do with JoeFest. This all has to do with 2.5 douchebags. I'll let you pick which one of the three is the half douchebag.
Okay, Bobby, totally original toy designer as opposed to hardworking. These are just
me.
These are god awful memes.
Why? Why does he keep doing this?
Because
you
he
can
doesn't.
tell that he probably just. Does he live at home? What the fuck?
I don't know, but there's a special level of deranged that G.I. Joe fans operate under, and it's just fascinating to me.
Anyways, it's hard, right? Because the short one that has
It's G.I. Joe for bros.
Oh my goodness.
the one who's the least involved, because the shortest one is really the biggest douchebag. But anyways, Joe Fest is great. Love Joe Fest. Joe Fest is awesome.
Which is why you went there to cause trouble, because you like Joe Fest so much?
You should definitely come to Joe Fest. If anything about the story, Joe Fest is awesome. Saturday night lobby party at Joe Fest is tight.
No, tell them what you did before the lobby party. Tell them what you did, Kenny. Why don't you tell them that you decided to wait until Bobby wasn't around the Action Force booth and go and drop these off there? Antagonizing him at the show. Legal Action Force sticker sheets. It's a 3D printed crutch. Why don't you tell them that you did this? Why are you hiding that from your fans on your YouTube channel that totally will back you up to this convention?
Oh, so this guy.
Go ahead.
Sorry, so this guy legitimately went and started harassing this dude, like even went out of his way to see him in person to do it.
Well, he made sure Bobby wasn't at the booth, at the Action Force booth when he did this, but yeah, he did. That's why he brought the shirts.
Yeah, that's still like legitimate harassment.
Ah, like, but he's innocent though. He's innocent.
That's like, I would say if he continued that behavior, that would literally just be criminal.
You think he cares?
Well, no, he doesn't even understand the concept of morality. That's why he ironically is into shit like G.I. Joe, which was all about spreading morals, because he didn't actually care about the product. He cares about the fact that it's the one thing he can latch on to because he's got nothing else in his life.
Allegedly, he has a family. I guess G.I. Joe's more important than that.
Oh, of course.
Anywho, back to the video. So, yeah, you maybe ought to tell them about that, Kenny.
It's just nerds and toys and friends, and I give more dude hugs in the Joe Fest weekend than probably the rest of the year combined. It's incredible. So,
why would you brag about touching other men?
Saturday night was wild, so we went out
Ayo?
to eat after the show, and I think we went to Mellow Mushroom, and I had some drinks. I was feeling myself, and I got really riled up at dinner. So, I go back to my room, and I change into my fresh new shirt. Now, mind you, I spent the entire weekend giving this son of a bitch the largest berth that I possibly could.
Which is why you went to his booth, because it was the largest berth.
I didn't even go to my friends' booths that were next to his, because I wanted to avoid the followers' booth, because I wouldn't want to trigger fragile little Bobby, because his feelings.
He's giving me stalker vibes.
Well, that's because he's what he is. He is a stalker. He obsesses over Bobby Vala. That's why he does entire harassment campaigns against the guy, because the guy criticized companies he likes and sent a note to his friend.
Weapons do.
Ah, making fun of Michael.
Because like, if it was like the one text back and forth, right? It at least at that point it would be two dudes just being cringe in each other's DMs or whatever, and then you just move on. But like, he's taking like an argument that could have just been no you times infinity and just turned into like an actual creep. Like, he actually printed off a shirt about it. Is that, I finally saw what the full shirt said, and it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, and he's getting mad because there were some quality control problems with the first wave that Bobby literally went out of his way to fix. So let's see what he has to say.
There's literally quality control issues with every single fucking action figure because they're toys and people don't care and they sell them off so little slave kids will make them. Of course, there's gonna be issues.
All right, moving on.
I wanted to avoid the followers booth because I wouldn't want to trigger fragile little Bobby because his feelings would break as quickly as his steel brigade weapons do.
So you post an image of Michael, who's not even involved in that back and forth, to somehow prove that the steel brigade weapons break? That's not even evidence of that. You're stupid.
And I was on best behavior. I swear. I did not wear this shirt to bother him. If I was going to, I would have paraded myself.
He just wore another shirt. Pretty
I would have found the glory hole where him and Lenny Wings hang out. I would have done anything. Except what I did, which was changed into the shirt, went down to the lobby swap, where people were selling toys, right? Shop toys.
Which was still at the convention. It may not be in convention hours, but you went there to cause problems. That's why you put on a shirt and went down there. Don't lie to yourself like that, and don't lie to other people like that.
Drink, people handing me beers, good times, right? So much booze. actually, the biggest story of the night before, what happens later, is I watched a man choke another guy out in the lobby until he passed out. She was wild. Anyways.
Wait, so you watched it? You didn't interfere. You didn't try to stop it, but you watched it because we're gonna come back to that too.
Cops got called because of that. It was a whole fucking thing.
Why? He gives me like weird creep vibes.
Because he is one.
I think there were I think Molly and Ryan had like freezer push pops. They were definitely shots, and we went hard, right? It went for quite a while, hours and hours and hours. And you know, I wore this shirt to make my friends laugh, and my friends laughed. They did. It was largely, oh my god, you're
what
dumb.
Friends?
Oh my god, I can't believe you're wearing that.
We'll
oh my
get
god,
to
that's
that.
brilliant. Oh my god, where can I buy one of those?
The mirror doesn't count.
Nobody. Oh
dude.
my god, how dare you? So,
did you tell your friends that you promised not to cause problems at the convention and turn around and did? Because I just showed actual receipts that you don't have. So
at some point, a handful of us were drinking at the bottom of the stairs by the front door.
To be fair, you can't prove a negative, but we can prove a positive, which you just did.
Yes.
I'm talking. I think we maybe had some apple pie or something. I think there was something in a jar at some point. But anyways, Bobby and his crew come in and they go to the elevator. And Ryan and I are both wearing our Levi Action Force shirts by the front door.
Just drink this image in. The guy who promised not to cause problems.
Losers.
That's because they are. It's because they are losers.
I love being on this stream because I've literally left the whole Sonic community because they're as deranged as these people. Where like people are being doxxed over Sonic opinions right now. It's insane. And people like harassing people. And I'm like, I hate it. And even then, even hearing a glimpse, I was like, they literally treat Sega like 40-year-old men treat Hasbro, and here I am seeing it with a specific example, and I'm like, what is going on?
Ryan Laserpants is right. They definitely look like Joefans. And this is all stuff that's going to come together here in a minute. It's pretty funny.
And anyway,
He looks like Jeff from Benidorm.
Yeah, more memes of his. What was even the point of that?
And
oh, if you're going to call somebody out, just call him by name. Say, Tony came by. Are you too scared to mention his actual name? Just calling him Lemmy Winks? What's the joke there?
Yeah, I think we can easily discount this whole video with his own editing because, right, my boy, whatever he's called, Kenny? You said he's called Kenny?
Yep, Kenny.
I also heard Bob, that's why I got confused.
Bobby Vala is the guy he's mad about and obsessing with.
Oh, right, okay. I heard, yeah, okay. So this guy, Kenny, right? If he actually had anything of value to say, he would have showed it instead of constant, like, low Facebook grade memes. So he's basically just telling on himself by constantly flashing to memes because he can't flash actual receipts, actual proof, or anything, or even just be all like, hey, you know what, I did do that and that was out of line. No, instead you've got like another like God knows, like, what is that? Another, like, nearly 30 minutes of him just probably making more memes and just saying, nah, trust me, bro. It's kind of cringe.
Well, you would think that would be enough, but the people that this guy is friends with and will spread this, they don't care about the reality of things. They're just mad at Bobby Vala, so they'll just take his word for it.
Well, that's because they're also losers.
Correct.
Anyone who watches this video and thinks that it's good, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that your mother didn't love you enough where you had to try and, like, go to, like, fucking G.I. Joe toys and Hasbro to have some kind of level of comfort in your life. But now you're an adult and you can comfort yourself. You don't have to be doing all of this just because fucking toys aren't being made by the specific company you want. Jesus.
The funny thing about this guy talking about fragile egos is he disabled the likes on his end, or dislikes on his end. You can like the video.
They're probably just all fatherless. That's why they just want their fucking, like, manly toys to be made in a specific way because that's the only fucking parental figure they had in their life, and it's sad.
Yep, moving on.
And wants to take a picture of our shirt. Now, we aren't dumb. We know what's going on here, right? Yes, of course we do. If I recall, I think it was Ryan who posed for the picture. A lot of alcohol, a lot of peopling, a lot of fun. Details a little bit blurry. I'm doing the best I can. So he takes the picture. Snarky things are said, I'm sure. But we were friendly. We weren't mean. It was definitely like, you know, fucking LAF douchebag. At some point after this, Ryan decides he's drunk and he's going to bed. I'd probably hang out for another 20 or 30 minutes, and this is where the story gets fun. I went to bed. That's right. I wore my shirt, I made my friends laugh, and I went to bed. I did a long, long walk back to the second.
Wait, so hold on. You admit that you went down there, you saw them, and you expect nothing. All right, interesting.
Tower, and I get back to my room, and my cousin actually made me these super awesome Care Bear douches.
So the bear douche comment, this dude was so, like, not obsessed with Bobby that his friend made an entire line of action figures to take the piss out of him. Which, by the way, is a lot more than a single Facebook post that you guys get mad about. So while Bobby had to print out and write a note to somebody, these dudes 3D design, printed, and hand painted these things because they're mad at Bobby Vala.
Wait, what does that even have on the
A douche.
chest? What is that?
A douche. It's a douche.
I don't know what that is.
Okay. Earlier, how we talked about how Bobby didn't do punctuation, and instead of saying poke the bear, comma douche, he said poke the bear douche. This is a comment to that.
Oh, okay. That's so
Obsessive?
cringe.
Yes.
And also, I'm British, so I probably don't understand it fully, but that is so weird.
And so I like set them up by the TV. They take a picture, which is cool. I fuck around on Facebook. I get out of my shorts and out of my underwear and into gym shorts.
Why would you tell us about you getting out of your underwear, you weirdo?
I take my shoes and my socks off.
He sounds like he's like in like a fucking Jacqueline Wilson book. Like, and then I got up and then I put my shorts on and I look fabulous. Like, get to the fucking point.
Waiting for the room to level out before I lay down, and I get a text from a friend, and he says, "Hey, Bobby's walking around the lobby looking for you, saying, 'Where's that pussy at?'"
Valid question.
Gym shorts off, cargo shorts back on, no underwear, no socks.
Why would you tell us again that you don't have any underwear or socks on?
Which 3 hours later I would decide was a mistake. But and I roll out and I go back to the lobby. And if you weren't there, if you're not there, if you haven't been there, it's hard to really understand what the lobby is like.
I think it's a lobby. I don't think it's hard to understand. What I'm trying to understand is why you're like not anatomically correct here. Like, you look like part of your body has disassociated from itself.
It's very much like palace.
If he mentions not having pants on one more time, I'm going to call the police about being sexually harassed.
Like if I'm the front door,
he needs to put his pants on.
5 stairs and the stairs go up.
Just because mummy's not there to fucking dry clean them for him.
You know what the sad thing is? This is, I think it's still going, oh, it's 1.5, so we can go 1.75, and he still talks this slow. Imagine going one speed.
I'm walking down this hallway, and
he talks slower than I do.
I'm probably friends with 40 or 50 people that are there. Probably 35 of them I hug.
That doesn't mean they're your friends. We'll get to that shortly.
So I walked in, and some of my coworkers are hanging out up there, and so long hallway, platform, there's like a pillar, and my friends are standing right here, and Bear Douche and Lemmy Winks, and the brother-in-law who totally has no
Use names, pussy.
horse in the race. They're right here.
Oh my god,
So,
the same
I make my
meme.
beeline over, and I show up with my friends, and a couple of my friends anyways. There's a group of like 3 or 4 or 5 of them, and we start laughing, and we have a good time.
He says there were 3, 4, or 5 of them, but I have a video. It's a very short one. It doesn't prove anything. There's only one other guy that was with him.
It's just like, and I'm like, yep, here goes. And they laugh, and it's good stuff. And then the peanut gallery starts talking. So I walk around the
Just
corner,
him and Benidorm Jeff.
At this point, the adrenaline's pumping. The alcohol's been flowing, right? Like, there's an ex-military, some dude I've never heard of before, and then this small, bald, bearded man standing behind them.
As opposed to you, a fat bearded man. Like,
Right? Like, why is he going at appearances? I feel like I'm watching Fox Mafia shit again. Like, come on, Pot. Stop calling out Kettle.
which at the same time, like, both Tony and Bobby are, like, unquestionably more fit and more capable of violence than this guy.
Right? You can see that screenshot. Like, he's... what is going on?
It looks like somebody
man?
cut and paste him and his friend.
Yeah, they do look the same.
They've been walking around the lobby hunting me down by name, calling me a pussy.
Wait, so hold on. Let's go ahead and take this in. This dude knows these people are looking for him, and he is clearly worried about physical violence, so he shows up with no socks, apparently no underwear, ready for physical violence. We're talking about a real brain surgeon here.
So I'm prepared to accept violence if that's what the world has for me, right?
He's prepared for the violence, which is why he didn't even wear shoes.
Was he just gonna, like, like pull down his trousers to, because that would mortify people and turn them into fucking
You'd think
stone.
so, but taking a look at this guy, I don't think they'd see anything.
Well, yeah, you'd have to like lift up a few folds, but like I don't understand what he's doing. Why did he have to tell us that? What did he just reiterate it? By the way,
I can't remember if he did,
my
but
brain just
he was talking about how he's prepared for violence because he antagonizes people and then he's shocked that they might be upset.
Decide they're gonna lay hands on me, then I fully intended to let Lemmy Winks enjoy the Georgia jail.
Well, it also depends on Georgia's laws because if you went there and they can demonstrate that you are intending to cause problems, you're intending to mess with people, you're going to jail too, buddy, especially if you participate in that. You are antagonizing people to violence on you, and with Bobby having these receipts about all your harassment and the legality behind them, dude, you're going to jail.
Yeah, he's literally just a crybaby and a stalker.
Well, he's going to jail after he leaves the hospital because Tony would like annihilate this guy, and I'm not even bringing Bobby into that. Bobby do just as much. And this dude's like, all right.
I could annihilate this guy, and I'm 5'2".
Well, let's think about this moron's mental processes. All right, I am wearing a shirt that I know they've seen because I'm here to antagonize them. I'm picking a fight with an SAS officer, a Special Forces officer, and I'm going to show up sans underwear and socks. I'm a genius. He's going to go to jail. You're going to the ER, buddy.
Talk, but they're running their mouth, and I didn't know what to say.
You said sans underwear.
Sans underwear. And he admits he's doing this while intoxicated, mind you. So, brilliant individual here.
The details of the conversation get pretty fuzzy for a good chunk of it because I've got 3 people basically yelling at me to various degrees.
Oh,
they should yell at you.
Oh, poor baby. But Peaches, he got yelled at. Oh no, that's violence.
Me trying to maintain my cool, honestly trying to defuse the situation. I went up for a high five with Bobby.
Wait, hold on. So this is what these cowards do. These duplicitous pieces of absolute gutter trash. This is what they always do. They cause problems, and then when they're faced with their accountability, I'm trying to defuse the situation. I don't want to escalate. You said you were ready for violence, buddy. Why were you de-escalating if you were ready for violence? You're a coward. That's why.
I got it. And a lot of, I tried to laugh. I even offered, at one point, I offered to take the shirt off. I said, have the shirt off my back.
Dude, ain't nobody wants to see what's under them shirt. I would have denied that shirt too.
Honestly, don't know what they expected, but... So, the conversation. Lemmy Winks' whole thing is, where'd you get that shirt?
He did the YouTuber side twice.
And I probably heard that drunk fucking Australian say that shit.
Right?
God, it had to have been
damn, bro. Captain Underpants over here just being like the fucking world savior.
The short little angry man, not the bald one, the other short one. He was, very much, what the fuck do you think you're doing? And
yeah, he was asking you a valid question because you promised not to cause problems, and you turned around and you caused problems, you mentally stunted half-wit. There's another one for you.
And Bobby was very much, what the fuck is that? And we went around about a bunch of things, and I said, hey, you told me not to wear the Kenny shirt. It's not the Kenny shirt. Then I tried to explain the joke to him, right? Legal action for it.
Yeah, playing the joke again. Dude, you're a coward. Own what you do. Just say, I came here and I'm mad at you and I'm going to cause problems instead of going, no, please, no violence. Can't we all just be friends?
You can't wear a shirt like that. Give him crutches stuff while he's gone. This is all cowardly stuff. Just because, right? Because a lot of people in the commentary community do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So to anyone in the toy community now who don't understand, let me give you a rundown from the people who are so dumb that everyone can see through it. The commentary community will do this big old thing where they'll keep trying to look like they're nice and cordial, and the whole community doesn't care if you're actually a good person or if you're actually making good points. They care about how you say it because it's weaselly. So they'll do the most horrific shit while putting a smile on their face and going, but I don't want to offend anyone. I don't want to do that. So that way, when someone retaliates by going, you're a piece of shit, how could you say XYZ thing? They'll turn around and start crying and being all like, I never said, I was being so nice and so lovely. And it's the most cowardly thing a person can do while also being actively malicious because you're literally doing a lot of horrendous shit. And then they'll go on YouTube and try and push all their fans to continue it because they're cowards and they're manipulative and they're dumb. And the fact that a guy in his 40s are acting like what 18-year-olds do in the commentary community is just sad.
Yep, and that's exactly what this whole video is.
Reaction force, like the whole thing, right? Totally unreceptive. At some point, a couple people, I mean, everybody gathered to some degree, right? Like if we're over here by the, like, we're on this side, right? We're over here by the elevators. And there were people collecting and watching. A couple friends had gotten close by. In retrospect, back up, whether it's to keep me out of trouble or to protect me if something goes terrible.
They weren't going to protect you. Bystander complex kicks in. They would have just sat there and watched you get your teeth kicked in. It's hard to break that for you, because he goes into something else here shortly that's going to be fun to go over.
By the way, shout out to all the homies in the lobby. We're about to get there.
No, there were no homies for you in the lobby. They would have watched you get your teeth kicked in and done nothing. They would have done absolutely nothing
I think
to help
this, you know what I actually think is sad is like me bringing up the commentary thing. At least people who try it, not all of them, but like it works if you've got at least a bit of charisma.
Yeah.
I've got more charisma than this guy, and I know that I'm hateable. Like, it's just really depressing that he's going in here and being all like, guys, trust me, bro. And he's got a punchable face. Even if it turned around and he pulled like all the receipts out of his arse to show that he's 100% right, I would still want to see this guy's face punched in. But so it's just a cherry on top that he's actually just a shitty person who just stalks and harasses people.
Correct.
But yeah, you know, where'd you get that shirt, mate? I'm like, some guy, right? Like, my buddy Ryan, there were two of us in the lobby wearing them, like, and it's funny in retrospect, Ryan was like, I would fucking told him. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not their fucking business.
Yeah, you're a coward.
No, don't use Game of Thrones.
Well, again, like, I'm not going to tell you.
Out of that.
I'm not going to tell you who did it. Well, yeah, because you're a coward, and you know what would happen if you found out. Because you're a pussy. So hopefully Bobby sends you paperwork then.
I'm giving them shit. Because they ain't shit.
Bruh, using a Lena like that, doing a dirty.
He says they ain't crap, which is why you dedicate so much of your time and energy to obsess over them.
I held strong, and that
didn't
pissed them off
he
even
make a
more.
40-minute video after harassing them for ages?
Arguing about nonsense. They got made fun of.
Hold on, they didn't get made fun of. You got made fun of. And we got somebody who watched all this that I'm going to bring on once we get to that point. That's going to sit here and point out the fact that this dude's full of crap.
Anyway, I got really, really mad about me not telling him where the shirt came from. Like,
you saying he's full of crap? No way.
Mate, for not telling me who made the shirt, I defended your freedom. And I'm like, weren't you in the British military? Like, I'm from Ohio. And he's like, well, I was an ambassador for the such and such of the such and such. And I'm like, that's not what defending my freedom means.
Do you realize that they're like allies to the U.S., or are you just that stupid? Are you just that stupid? He is that stupid.
And I'm like hiding in the blanket of freedom at one point.
Well, yeah, you sit there and you're obsessed with, my First Amendment right and all that, but the minute this dude turns to you, no.
Hold on. This guy looks exactly like the kind of guy who, if he had a fight with any British person, he'd be like, well, we all saved your asses in World War II. And yet now he's all like, whoa, British people, like, defending, like, the West's freedom, like literally one of our allies, could be me. He sounds like that kind of guy. So.
Oh, we got Tony in the chat, actually. Glad to see you, Tony. Frankly, Tony, in your position, I don't think I would have kept my cool. I think I probably would have hurt this guy.
He told me that I was hiding in the blanket of freedom.
Who's Tony again? Who's Tony?
Tony's Analog Toys. Tony's the SAS officer that this guy was beefing with.
Oh, I see. Oh, like Bobby's friend or whatever.
Yes, Bobby's friend.
They're on the norm. They're the ones with brain cells. Okay.
Yes, they are the normal, decent people.
Wearing a shirt that you didn't like. I mean, listen, we've all heard alcoholics ramble before, right? It's nothing new. It's all stuff you've heard. So,
wait, hold on. So, if you think Tony's an alcoholic, why are you taking shots at that? Like, alcoholism's not something that you just tee-hee ha-ha. Like, what? There's something genuinely wrong with this guy. And this is the type of guy who gets mad when people make fun of him, but he sits there and takes shots at decent people just because they call him out. What a scumbag.
And then at some point...
And you know what? I'm not just going to do a stream about this. I'm going to put an actual edited together video by this weekend about this too, because screw this guy. And I'm definitely digging into that thing about the Joe Fest, like, director. And if that's accurate, that's going in the video too.
A buddy of mine thinks that it's going to, like, reads body language. A couple people think it's going to go south. So somebody comes up, sort of gives me a hug, and kind of like turns me away and starts to walk me a couple feet away.
Yeah, because he didn't want to watch you get murdered. I would have pushed you towards him.
Trying to defuse the situation. Somebody else gets up and sort of tries to talk Bobby off the douchebag ledge.
Wait, how is he on the douchebag ledge when you show up, you actively harass him, you bring things that you know you shouldn't to antagonize him, but he's the douchebag? No, you are. And Tony is right. You are a failure of a father. Because this is the example you're showing your kids. genuinely worthless trash behavior. So when your kids wind up in jail because you're their example, you don't get to cry.
And
Was not an officer. Well, I do apologize if I don't know the exact military terminology in this case. I apologize, Tony. If you want to tell me what your exact thing was, I'll be happy to correct that and tell you.
you know,
Huh? I kicked her out. Oh, my Discord died. It's been doing that a lot lately.
Bitch.
Sorry, my Discord died. It's been doing that a lot lately.
Give me
I give.
access.
Access given. Gibbon. Moving on.
but then, like, it starts. This starts getting fun, right? Because the initial tension or whatever broke. I gotta check my phone at some point. Like, I got texts from, like, a really good friend of mine who you wouldn't expect, who's across the lobby. Like, I got hands, we about to do this.
Wait, he's across the lobby, but he's texting you.
I got hands, man. Forget hands. Just say the word. Oh God, please hope nothing happens. I don't want to get up.
I hope I didn't miss like the most fun part of this.
No, we're
while I
getting
was
to it.
kicked.
We're
So-
getting to the most fun part of this. We're getting to it because like
nice.
he just mentioned that he had a friend who was across the lobby, like all the way on the other side, saying, "You ready? Got hands for this, man?" Well, then why isn't your friend up there with you? Because this is later after this all started. Your friend's a pussy
There's
like
no
you
way.
are. Your friend's a pussy like you are. Holy crap, that's amazing. Who says that? He says that publicly with a smile, thinking he's proving something. That's amazing.
Got hands, and I'm like, we're not fucking fighting. We do not got hands, okay? Like, this is not gonna be a thing that happens. My cousin downstairs drinking at the bar, completely fucking oblivious to what's going on, which is his own like hilarious level. He comes up the steps like, what the fuck did I miss? I think Adam was with him too. It was fucking clutch. Anyways, so they all decide that again, front door, fucking princess staircase, bear douche and lemon winks, and brother-in-law over here by the elevator.
Use their names.
Did his cousin start texting him too?
Use their names, Kenneth Kopnick. Use their names.
Still, so they take me down this hall, like down the hallway over by the bathrooms, and they decided they're gonna position me over there.
They're going to position him over there for a counter-strike.
And then a circle of like probably 6 or 7 people sort of form near me, and we start talking just about the thing, right? Like, what the fuck just happened?
We're not going to actually help you, but we're gossip mongers.
Fuck those douchebags, all this shit, and you know.
Yeah, screw these guys. Even though I try to defuse things, and even though I'm obviously scared of a physical confrontation, screw these guys. Well, now that I'm around my friends.
The moral of the story here is, I don't think they quite expected to come downstairs and find me, have me stand toe to toe with them, and then have 30 people. That'd be 3 on 30. Like someone on his tank earlier.
No, there will not be 3 on 30. Bystander effect and the fact that nobody's going to help you throw hands. Literally nobody. That's why you were trying to defuse the situation, because you knew if it came to violence, you'd lose. If you thought 30 people would help you, you wouldn't have cared about defusing the situation. This is just trying to help soothe your poor little ego.
Earlier described it as 3 on 1. And
Yeah,
technically
this is
it was,
really,
but
really sad.
there were 30 other people
Funny.
in the lobby that definitely would have picked me up off the ground, and there's probably 15.
Well, yeah, with a
And
spatula.
does he not realize another thing? Sorry, wait, I need to keep chugging water constantly. But another thing is that this guy is not even doing the whole cry bully thing correctly, because if you wanted, to pretend to be sympathetic, which is basically what he's doing, the memes aren't helping, first off. But second, you don't start making some like fucking big dick story about how, oh yeah, I have like an army of 30 people who'd come and protect me. Like one that makes you sound weak, that you can't have a fight with people that you chose to have a fight with without having 30 people to protect you, and then your bestie sat there texting you and saying how awesome you are. But like it also doesn't help when he's sat there trying to make this whole video about how this guy, how he's not harassed this guy, but this guy is really belittling him and making him feel small. When he's just sat there like, nah, I have like 30 guys who would definitely beat the shit out of this guy just because we hate him more. We hate him because he's got fucking like action force. Like, make it make sense.
All right, give me a second here. Masterson, I see you there. I'll pull you into call shortly. So those of you who are in Senate are like, oh, who's this guy? He's a friend. Chill. Chill. All right, so moving on.
And those people, 15 of those people, that would have thrown a hand.
Wait, hold on. I thought it was 30 because you said 15. Now you're saying 15 after you said 30. So what number is it? Can you count? How many fingers am I throwing up?
You
don't think
can't
he's
count past
Overplayed
the
Canada.
amount
Same
of
thing as last year
fingers he
when he tried to do that,
has.
Also, one's in the chat for Tony. Respect, please.
Met a brick fucking wall. Nothing pisses off little Dick Napoleons more than not getting their way. So this is
How did he not get his way when you're the one that de-escalated and backed off?
what you're really here for. I'm gonna finish the story in a second, but just for the sake of continuity, here
He's silly.
is where the video ends. Now, I found out about the video on the drive home. I was told that somebody, who will remain nameless, had shot the video from
So another pussy. Yet another pussy.
across the princess staircase. Right, so like staircase, front door, Bear Douche, Lemmy Winks, brother-in-law, elevator, me.
Use names, Kenneth Kaepernick, or Kapnick, or whatever your last name is spelled. That is goofy.
Fucking dude on a couch with a camera. So it's a cell phone camera from across the room, a room that had 30 to 50 people in it. And
Cell phone camera from not up there close. This guy is probably your BFF that was texting you. I got hands, but I'm going to record from across the room.
the reality is that you can't hear shit in the video. And it started late, and it ends when we get separated. There's more to the story, and I'll continue the story after the short viewing party. The world premiere of the Voliverse vs. Kennyverse. Joefan video. Highly demanded. Prepare to be disappointed.
I think one's in the hallway for sale.
There's the cut and paste person. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about like physical posture because I'm an artist. Peaches is a much better artist. The way these guys are standing, Tony, Bobby, and this guy Mike, who's apparently in relation to Bobby, they're obviously standing straight up. Their chests are out. They're obviously dominating the conversation. And what's little Kinnykin doing here? What's Kinkin doing? He's deflated. He's not showing a threatening
fiddling
posture.
with his fucking fingers.
Yes, he is clearly nervous. The dude picked a fight, and now that the fight's shown up, he doesn't know what to do, which is why he de-escalated. See?
And why
come
does
on,
he have a
guys.
fucking body double?
Try. He's probably gonna do a ninja jutsu that's like a log, but instead of a log, it's a body double.
They're not. None of them even look that threatening. They look like they're having a dialogue.
Yeah, but his entire body posture is like the submissive one, for lack of a better word. Don't none of you twist
Yeah,
that.
I mean, like those three other guys who are talking to him don't even have the posture of someone like even upping themselves to look like they're gonna have a fight. Like this fucking guy has his arms crossed, this guy's swinging, and this guy's leaning on the banister. None of that says that they're like actively like going like we will beat the shit out of you. What they're doing is stood there laughing at a guy twiddling with his thumbs because he can't even like stand by the shirt he chose to wear.
Correct. Like, frankly, I think that Bobby, Tony, and this Mike guy showed a considerable amount of restraint because this dude has been doing like a harassment campaign
What
for
is
at this
this guy
point over a
doing?
year. Like, the fact that they didn't reach out and tag this dude across his jaw, like, props to them for that level of control. I don't think I could do it.
No, just wondering what this guy's doing.
Which one?
You know the guy in grey.
Yeah, he's talking to the other guy.
Oh, it's because he touched him. I was
Yeah.
a bit confused. Oh, and then he walked off. Okay. Weird. This looks like an argument. That guy's disengaged. Which one's Bobby?
Bobby is the gentleman on the left in the black with the beard.
Oh, because he looks like he's disengaged like several times already. That's what's funny to me. He's not even threatening enough for people to keep engagement on him.
Yeah, Kenny is not threatening enough for them to keep engagement on. Look, he just left.
Yeah, he
deal.
left, he weaseled out, and
Uh-huh.
they, even while he was still there, started talking to other people, and none of them had the body language, which was even presenting as a fight. because they're literally just sat back with their arms folded, having a conversation, then laughing with one another.
Yeah, probably making fun
If
of him.
that's a fight to this guy, then I am so sorry that your father left you because you were disappointing. I'm so sorry that you had to like pick up toys and start crying about them, because I am not surprised in the least bit, and that is very sad. And take that from literally a crybaby, aka me. Like,
And the
it's
title of the
sad,
video
man.
is, Did Valaverse CEO Bobby Vala and Analog Toys ambush somebody at Joefan 2022 over a funny shirt? How is that an ambush?
No.
He's a friggin' moron.
The answer is no. That this whole thing should have just been like 2 seconds.
All right.
N-O.
Right. So let's go ahead and finish this section of it.
First thing I did when I got it was sent it to a friend to see if they could spruce it up visually or audially, if they could find anything. Audio. Anyways, they weren't able to do anything. We weren't able to get. I think the copy that I'm using is the cleanest one I have. No juicy tidbits. And listen, we've all read how he writes.
How he writes is like much better than how you talk.
Like, you're not getting out of the fucking Special Forces washout or the unoriginal toy designer.
How is he a washout when he left with distinguishment? Like, do you know what words mean? No, you don't know what words mean, because your next video absolutely proves you don't know what words mean. You literally just put up a video of you being a pussy, and you're saying it standing up for yourself. This is embarrassing.
You're not getting any, like, crazy cleverness, right? And even my burns. I got burns.
Oh, you got burns. That's why your memes are all terrible, right?
I got burns for days.
See, look at this nonsense. This is his meme ability? And, dude, putting Super 7 anywhere near the top, you are genuinely stupid.
But I was drunk, I was tired, I was annoyed, and I was nervous. So I had my moments, though. And we'll get to those. So, continuing the story for the 4 of you that are going to sit through this whole video.
Expecting perfect quality or like respect from companies in general is dumb, because companies aren't your friends. Companies want your money, and if you're that deranged where you think that they actually care about you, you are the target audience because you're a chump. Just saying.
Shout out to his tank, by the way. Over 2,010 pages the last time I saw.
And now it's all gone because they got really stupid, consistently broke rules, and his tank itself had to nuke the thread. So this guy's trying to prop up other people who are obsessive harassers towards Bobby and Valaverse, even though they buy his stuff all the time. Well, shout out to the other scumbags.
Documenting the rise and fall of a young Robert Vala.
How is it a fall when he's still making tons of money and people are still clamoring for everything he puts out? Everything he puts out. How is that a fall? You don't know what words mean.
And his knockoff military toy line. Like,
how is it a knockoff if he owns the IP? Do you think G.I. Joe itself was original? Because I'm pretty sure Green Army Men came out before G.I. Joe did. Just a little sure about that. And then we can take about the fact that Green Army Men are technically a ripoff of the actual United States military. So, do you, Mr. I've got burns for days, do you just not think any of this through to see how it can be turned back on you? This is literally just because Hasbro doesn't own the property that Bobby does, and Bobby's being a better steward of a property than Hasbro does. Because here's the thing, never gotten a weapon from Valaverse that feels like I'm playing with a gummy toy. I have with Hasbro, though. So I think we're done with, like, that section, so I'm going to go ahead and bring Master Son on. Okay. So let me go ahead and add him. And Master Son, go ahead and check your friend request there. I'm just going to bring you into this group chat. There's some technical issues, and for some reason, Pete just can't hop in the server. Which, that is still weird.
Cringe.
That is still really weird that it does that to you.
Why is it? Yeah. It's silly. It's because I'm too cool, and to be honest, Senate's cringe.
Well, also, Discord is ran by a bunch of really weird, freaky furries. So I don't expect competency.
Well, yeah.
All right, now I'm going to add him.
But a lot of furries work for NASA, so...
That means nothing.
Well, yeah, no, it doesn't really, but...
Okay.
I do have another account in there, though.
But we're not going to worry about that. How's it going, man? Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Awesome.
Howdy.
Sorry it took so long. We had a lot of stupid to get through. So you were there at Joe Fest, right?
Yes. If you were to go back to that video at the very tail end. You can see me on the very left side of your screen. I was that close.
Gotcha. All right. So for those of you who don't know, Master Son 42, he's a regular in these communities. He's like always there watching. And if I'm not mistaken, he's a big Bionic 6 fan. Is that you, or am I confusing you with somebody else?
No, you are correct. I am.
Oh,
the
TMS.
Bionic 6 fan.
TMS did an excellent job animating that series. But anyway, so why don't you tell us what you saw, since you were physically there and you're not an unreliable narrator to my knowledge.
Okay, I will start, and I will try to stick with straight facts. If I go something that's not a fact, I will try to say opinion as much as possible.
All right.
For the purposes of this, I will say Bobby's group and Kenny's group, just to make it kind of simple. So I was there. I was not drinking because my wife was there. She was actually back in the hotel room. That's where I was on the way to when all of this kind of went down. I was out following somebody and I was having a conversation, and all of this was happening behind me. So full disclaimer, I know he was brought up into it. I did know Michael beforehand. I considered him a friend. I consider him a friend now. I had met Tony at that Joe Fest, so that was the first time I actually met him. And Bobby, who I've met probably 3 times, if he saw me right now, wouldn't know who I was. And that's a big joke that we have. I always say, dude, I'm over here all the time and you don't remember who I am. So, but that's full disclosure. So I don't want anybody to say I'm just like their friend, saying stuff. I'm going to let you know up front. So I was there having a conversation, and the video that you saw was not really the end. That was the end of the up close stuff, but stuff happened later that they didn't film, and it had part to do with that whisking away, and I'll get to that. So to set the scene, you can see him by the elevators, and I'm going to use the elevators as a reference point. So the elevators is the 12 o'clock position. So his friends that he's talking about, the other, and I'll give him credit, there was probably about 15 to 20 people, were about 30 yards to the 3 o'clock from the elevators. The person filming it was about 30 yards to about the 5 o'clock position, if that makes sense. Sorry for all the people who are not American. I'm going to use yards and clock positions because that's what I do.
Oh boy.
So that's kind of the understatement. And there were about a total of 30 people up there, but I think everybody was in their own conversations. I don't think half the people knew what was going on. I would say the vast majority of people did not know what was going on because they were just having their conversations. So if you notice, I had heard about it. I had heard about there was this guy there. I didn't know the backstory. I just know he was wearing a shirt that had something to do with the Real Action Force, and he was harassing Bobby. That's kind of all I knew. So when he was there talking at first, I didn't know that was him because for some reason I thought the shirt was yellow. And so I was half paying attention of what was going on directly behind me. And everybody there, those guys were everybody was drinking, as full disclosure. So, nice, colorful languages was going across. So he came up and he was asking, and true, Tony was asking, like, where did you get that shirt? Where did you get that shirt? And I remember him specifically saying, a friend of mine made it. And then he said, who's your friend? Where is he? And he was like, well, I'm not going to tell you who my friend is. So those 2 stories, that's what I heard. And so I'm literally talking to another guy, and then the scene where the video clicked in is, yes, I have seen many of fights from growing up, from being in the military, and there are people who are waiting to fight. There are people who will fight if they have to, and there are people who don't want to fight. Nobody there wanted to fight. There were people there who would, if needed, and I would say I'm pretty sure Bobby's group would have if something would have happened. You had Kenny. I don't think he is just the way he is. I just don't think he is. Not disparaging. Everybody's not like that. And then his guy who he had behind him,
I'll disparage.
probably
He's a pussy.
the guy behind him probably would have, because that's his friend and he has to. And just kind of like you said, the rest of the people probably would have let it go on for about 10, 15 seconds before they would have broken it up. Just because the first thing you want to do is you want to see a fight, because we're humans and we're all stupid. And then eventually when that first person goes in to break it up, then everybody's going to break it up. That is that mentality, kind of like what you spoke of group bystanders are just going to sit there and watch.
Yep.
And it's not until that first person acts that the rest of the people are going to act. So no one was getting ready to fight it, because they would have gotten my attention. So he's talking and they're going back and forth about, here, yelling, you're purposely wearing this, da, da, da. That's the time I figured out these are the guys that I had heard about. So I'm kind of wrapping up the conversation with the friend of mine who I'm talking to. And then the thing that really got me is, at one point, the guy, and I don't know his name, and I'm going to guess at his ethnicity. Please don't be upset at me if I missed it. The Asian gentleman who came in, that dude's a real hero, because he was the only one who was diffusing the situation. The guy Kenny was definitely not diffusing the situation. He was just there, and I don't know how to explain it.
Let me guess. It's just jokes, guys. Why are you mad? It's just jokes.
Kind of like that. He was just replying. He wasn't trying to anything. He was just, I got to reply, because if I don't reply, something's going to happen. So that's kind of how I fit. The other gentleman came over, and you can see him come over, and he's trying to, hey, it's starting to get a little loud. We're a little concerned what's going on. However he was doing it. Well, I don't know if it was Kenny or the guy behind him, but he said something to Tony, and I don't even know if Tony remembers, but he said something about him, you just have like bad PTSD.
Ooh.
Or something to that effect.
That is a line. That is a line.
Me being military and retired, that definitely got my attention. And it's actually, it'd be cool if you can zoom back to that video where that guy shows up, the Asian guy shows up while I'm saying this, and you'll see why. So he said that, and then you can see me in the frame kind of turn, and I go, what did he say? And the guy says he said something about PTSD. I think it was directed at this guy. And he turns back around. And I sit there for about a second or two, and then I go, he probably shouldn't make jokes about something as serious as PTSD, especially in front of people like military like me. Mm-hmm. When I said that, that's when you see him whisking that dude away. So I didn't find out later that they thought that, they didn't know that I knew that they thought I was going to fight. And I wasn't there to fight. I didn't know what was going on at first. But when I heard that comment, you don't play, because I know people who had PTSD, mm-hmm. and I know people who have lost the battle against PTSD. So that one definitely got my attention, and that's why I remember that. I just don't remember exactly how the comment went. So he pulled them back, and they went back to the other group at the 3 o'clock position, who's about 20 to 30 yards away. Well, then there was still more stuff going back and forth. So by that time, I had turned completely around, and I said, all right, what is going on, to Tony? And then Tony started telling me about, this is the guy who was wearing the shirt, blah, blah, blah. And that's when I saw the shirt, and I was like, oh, okay. And then Bobby had said something. He said something to me about who this guy is in Bobby's colorful language. And so one of the other things that I remember, and again, stuff was going on both sides. There was colorful words on both sides. Mm-hmm. But one of the things I remember is the guy, once he got over there, saying, and I don't know which one of the two it was, but somebody said, it's not my problem if you get triggered by a t-shirt. And I remember that Tony was like, turned to Bobby and said, "What did he say?" And then he turned back and said, "What did you just say?" Everybody knows if you say something and someone says, "What did you just say?" you probably shouldn't say it again.
Yep, that's
That's
your one
just,
chance to correct it.
yeah, it's you're getting into something. But he said it again, and Tony was I'm triggered, blah blah blah. And so this kind of was going on for a little bit, and then finally I was like, Tony, I said, y'all gonna be good. Bobby, in his colorful language, said, "Don't worry, they're not gonna fight, basically, and we're not worried about them, blah blah blah." And I said, "Well, I'm gonna go back to my room because I need to talk to, my wife is there." And they were like, "Okay." And um, so right then I was getting ready to head. So I was getting ready to leave. So now I have to go to the hallway. And the hallways, if they're at the 3 o'clock, and the other group who filmed it is at the 5 o'clock, the hallway is about the 4 o'clock. So I have to kind of walk in between to get there.
Mm-hmm.
I turned, and I remember I took a step or two, and he had said something again, and it was something about military. And I don't know if this dude is in military, and he says something, but he said something else. And I remember looking at that dude, and again, shouts out to the Asian gentleman. He grabbed him and took him all the way down the hallway. And when I say all the way down the hallway, he was about 80 yards away, if not. If anybody knows that hotel, he went as far as you can into the end of the hallway. And I stopped again because somebody had said something, and I barely heard what he said. So I'm talking to the person next to me for about, let's call it 5 minutes. It's hard to tell what the time was. So then I'm leaving. Well, I have to go where he went, where Kenny went, to get to my hotel room. So I'm heading down there, and it's him by himself. There's another person coming towards me in the hallway. I do not remember anything about that guy. So it could have been the Asian gentleman. I don't know. I could have been one of his friends. I don't remember, or somebody rando. But what I do remember is me walking towards him seeing me, and he start texting on his phone. Now, he could have been texting the whole time. And then when I got about 10 feet from him, he threw his hands up like, "I don't want anything. I'm not here to do anything. I'm going to my room. I don't know this, and I just kind of look, and I just keep going." So when he says his friends were texting about they got hands and all that, it could have been during that time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't find out later that someone had told them in that circle that I was going to fight. That is the reason why I was there, or something to that effect. I'm not a small guy. I'm 6'2", 250 pounds. So, like I said, you can kind of see me. I'm kind of I'm not a small, I'm kind of an intimidating person if somebody doesn't know me. But that's kind of what I saw. In my opinion, he definitely was there to start something in public because, like you said, you wouldn't have wore the shirt, you wouldn't have brought the stuff, you would have done it if they're your friends and you say, "Hey, dude, we need to chill out on this because it's getting a little serious." They would have been like, "Yeah, man, cool, no problem." But none of that happened, and it just and again, the fact that we're talking about this, and this is like what, 2 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
he brought it back
Year and a
up.
half.
It's just like, yeah, why are you bringing this back up? This was kind of dead and buried, I thought. But so that's kind of my take on what I saw. Is as much as I can definitely say, I don't think any of the other group that he was standing with really had anybody's back at all. I just don't see it from. I don't know. It just, there's a lot of inconsistencies about how he was making himself be this big baddie dude, and I don't know. I've been in a few fights a long time ago. I am not trying to do that now, but I just I don't know. It just didn't seem bad. But again, I think the fact that if had everybody not been drinking, I don't think it would have even gotten to that. But he already said himself he was completely, all kind of crap faced, and his friends were too. So I don't understand if someone was said something about you and you're in your bed, you would have. I got you, LP. I will fight you. If you're in your bed, why would you come out? Because if you're coming out because someone's telling you something, you think you have the advantage until you got there, and then for whatever reason you just didn't. I don't know, but that's kind of what I saw. The only reason why I really paid attention is because of the insults about PTSD, and that really got my attention, and then I really started paying attention to what was going on.
Yeah, and Tony's saying in the chat that the guy apparently insulted every single British officer or armed forces individual, with saying he's not going to repeat what the clown said, but it doesn't surprise me with the way this idiot is.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say it, but there was something in reference to they couldn't do anything without our help, and that was, I think that was the thing that was said when I was walking back to my room and I stopped, and I think that's when they whisked the dude out. I'm not 100% sure, but there was, when he said that reminded me of what I heard. There was something to that effect of, and I don't know who said it, but yeah.
All right.
I was a little, like I said, you need to know your audience before you say some really cavalier stuff, and as the old saying goes, write a check that your body can't cash. Because I don't think he knew. I just don't think you want to do that. I don't know. Again, it was not smart stuff on both sides, but I do believe he was instigating, and then he get called upon it, and then he was kind of timid bear. I'm gonna act like I'm not doing anything. When he separated, and it wasn't just those two in front of Bobby's group, then we got some bravery back, because that's when the stuff was being slang back and forth more than when you were standing right next to somebody. And then he kind of got whisked away. But again, shouts out to that Asian dude. I think I don't know the guy's name, but I will say in that whole situation, he was the only one who was de-escalating. So
gotcha.
That's it. That's all I got.
Well,
any questions for me?
Nah. That should be it. I appreciate your time, and thank you for coming on and telling us what you saw.
All right. I'm going to go hang out in the chat for a minute.
Later, dude.
Later.
All right. Time to hit Peaches back up in our regular chat to share the screen. Hello again.
Hello.
All right. So back to the video.
Mm-hmm. If you share it with me.
Let me know when you're in.
It is not. Oh, there we go. It's working now.
All right. So he essentially just kind of broke down a lot of what Kenny was saying. And the fact that Kenny, number one, took a shot at people with PTSD is obviously scumbag behavior. And of course, Peaches, I can't believe you called it earlier in this doggone stream. I can't believe you did.
What? What did I do? What
according to Tony, this moron did the British couldn't have done anything without the Americans nonsense.
He did.
That's
great.
He did. You totally called it.
It.
Oh my god.
That's
great.
He looks like the kind of guy who would.
It's amazing. All right, so.
Like, if you ever need some quality reading, hop on over to His Tank and read the Oliver's thread, because it is phenomenal. Anyways.
Yes, it's a bunch of hateful people saying the worst of possible things, but they're your buddies. We're all on the same tide of being scumbags.
Go to the hallway, talking to friends. And the short gentleman, I don't remember at what point he told me who he was. I feel like he told me who he was before the tiff got broken up, but it might have been in the hallway. Anyways, apparently he was Bobby Vala's ex-brother-in-law. I don't know. I don't care. Really nice guy, except that he was just totally having a bad faith argument with me for like 45 minutes, man. He came over.
Do you even know what bad faith means? None of these people know what bad faith means.
He's rocking a Oliver shirt. He's like working the booth for the weekend. He's literally family with this dude, to the point where he still refers to himself as a brother-in-law, not like, I'm his friend, right? Which is what I would do with my sister's ex-husband or whatever, but here we are. he's like telling me how I don't have any horse in this race. I just want to understand. Can you just explain it to me? I just want to understand. I don't have a horse in this race, even though I literally am wearing a horse advertisement and I'm suckling on the horse teat all weekend. The horse just fed me.
Man, this guy is really upset, isn't he?
I have no horse in the race, so I'm like, all right, whatever, bro.
You got showed up in a public space. Don't laugh at my hiccups.
It's adorable, though.
I'll always talk shit.
Yeah.
And so talk shit I did. And other people talk shit too, in the circle. It wasn't just like me preaching on a soapbox. There was probably 6 or 7 of us there, and everybody would jump in here and there and talk about the shittiness, whether it's the threatening violence against Eric Aranya.
Him saying you'll be face to face with that bear is not threatening violence. Like, he's giving you a metaphor. Stupid.
This guy.
Whether it's gaslighting customers into believing that the line doesn't have any problems.
He never gaslit anybody. When he finds problems, he lets them know, and then he corrects them. Like, for those of you who may not know, like, one wave of a specific figure, there was something wrong with how the factory did, like, the hip joint. So what would a normal company do? Well, we'll refund it, whatever, I'm sorry, and then they keep making it. Or they have somebody else do it. What Bobby did. Bobby got brand new joints and manually replaced every single defective joint on every figure that went out or came back to him. He did. Him and like 1 or 2 other guys, the CEO of this company, sat down at a table and did this to correct an issue. He's never been dishonest about when the line has problems. He addresses them immediately.
Wait, CEO?
That's who Bobby is. He's the CEO and owner of the Action Force toy line, of Valiverse.
Can anyone ask him what a CEO even is? Please.
Chief Executive Officer.
Yeah, but I don't believe that's a real job.
It is. Bobby physically does the company. Trust me. I know you're taking a joke about other people, but Bobby ain't one of them.
I know, that's why I always find it like, when you have like CEOs that don't understand like what they're even covering, I'm just like, it's not a real job. I refuse to believe it's a real job.
But Bobby does, and he covers everything. This dude is like, he is unapologetically transparent, and that's one reason why I think they hate him, is because he doesn't hide behind some corporate facade. Like, I'm gonna be real polite.
Look, I genuinely believe because like, I'm autistic as anything, so I love the comfort of the same. I like being in the same kind of thing. Hasbro and those kind of names are things that they're used to from when they were a kid. And these guys haven't grown up since that point, so it doesn't matter how much better you are with the IP than Hasbro. It's the fact that they knew Hasbro when they were 8 and still sucking on their thumb.
Yes, even though Valiverse actually puts out... And here's the thing. I have the first wave. I still need to review it. There's a certain way I want to do it, and I haven't been able to get to it yet. I'm not even big into military toy lines because I grew up on military bases, but his stuff is like quality goods. And these people
but that's the
clever.
thing. Just like with Sega, if you look at Sonic Frontiers, because I'll use that as an example, Sonic Frontiers, they basically shat in a game cartridge and told you to buy it for $70 and say that it's a good game. Any other person at all, like a casual gamer who plays other games, would have told you that maybe repackaging a game with no physics and literally using levels from like a series from 10 years ago and making people repay it even though it came out with a horrific amount of bugs, they'd say that's bad. But people in the Sonic fandom are all like, oh my god, Sega's literally the best thing in the entire world, so they don't care and cry if anyone even dares to say anything different. The same with these people. Hasbro could literally stick a load of junk in a box and slap on $100 price tag and they would buy it. And then they'd get mad if someone came around, bought an IP that Hasbro was destroying, and do exactly what Bobby's doing and change it around, but because it's not the Hasbro name, they kick a fuss about it. Correct. It doesn't matter how good you are, it depends on what the name is, because they genuinely can't comprehend change. That's why they still act like they're 5 in their 40s.
Correct. Now, real quick, I got an answer to the door. I'll be right back.
Peaches show. I am sorry to people who do like Frontiers for some reason, but Frontiers is literally the reason why I'm not even in the Sonic fandom anymore. It was just bad. Sorry. It was enjoyable. Like, again, right? You can like bad things. You can like bad things. I was someone who liked Sonic 06, for example, you know, like obviously the nostalgia was a main thing. Genuinely the reason why, and I enjoyed it. Same with Mario Sunshine. I enjoyed that.
Oh,
Those
goodness.
kind of things. So these people could obviously enjoy, you know, like bad toys if you enjoy playing with them, if you enjoy the look of them, even if they've got bad articulation. You can still like that, but there's a difference. And being grown up and being an adult is being able to understand the subjective from the objective. So you can understand that you can like a thing that has flaws, and you should be able to accept the fact that other people will have different standards than you and won't be able to look past those flaws that you may be able to, and that's perfectly fine.
You would think they'd understand, but they don't. Let's continue.
No.
Whether it's blaming customers with broken figures for doing it on purpose to try to hurt Oliver's.
Yeah, this guy he's specifically pulling up, the guy was like posting other people's stuff in groups to try to cause problems. So he's lying at this point. He knows it.
Whether it's ripping people off for $100 for a little soft goods jacket on a repainted figure.
Okay, let's talk about what Hasbro does all the time. Hasbro crowdfunds action figures. This billion-dollar leading toy industry people crowdfund action figures. And that's not a ripoff to you, but Valaverse having a limited run with cloth goods somehow is?
Whether it's the Subpar 7 shirt, which, by the way, fucking classic, right?
Yes, him wearing an actual parody shirt that, by the way, he also didn't sell, unlike you. And by the way, I actually asked Bobby. I'll go ahead and give you a little inside baseball. I asked Bobby, hey, can you make those? He's like, no. It's like, it's just a one-time joke. And I didn't put it out for sale because that could cause problems. He was honest about it. As opposed to you, who aren't.
Subpar 7.
But he's not wrong. They are subpar. And this dude, like, licks their toes, so.
Really important context when it comes to parody shirts, right? Rules for thee, but not for me. This is the Bobby Ball way.
You forgot to mention your website and all the other defamatory stuff you were doing. It wasn't just the t-shirt. You myopic koala brain clown.
Speaking of, we can talk about how he went after people who were like making Iron Ken on YouTube got a fucking copyright strike because he deigned to like show off 3D printed Steel Brigade helmets. Like, woo!
He did reproduction Steel Brigade helmets that he was selling, and while I personally don't care about reproduction, the Steel Brigade stuff is currently still out there to be able to be purchased, and Iron Ken specifically did that to mess with Bobby's cash flow, because Iron Ken's the same weird freak who for some reason, even though he was arguing with somebody else, threatened to physically assault Michael French at a convention because another guy made him mad. That dude is unhinged. The same dude who like found, downloaded, and photoshopped gay porn to put the head of a dude he was beefing with on the porn to put in his video. Like the fact that you're trying to...
what?
Yeah, he did that. You ought to look at that stream I did. Like, these people are unhinged. Like, that's who these people are friends with. That's who they're...
Wait, you said that?
That Iron Ken did that. Iron Ken did that. He did a video where he downloaded gay porn, photoshopped the person he was beefing with head on it, and put it in his video.
That's actually like sexual harassment. Like, that's not like me joking. That's like genuine sexual harassment.
Oh yeah, it is. It is.
Like that is actually like really gross. What the fuck?
Yep.
And this is someone who Bobby's friend, not Bobby, Kenny's friends with.
Yes, Kenny's friends with him because they hate the same person. Because that's all it takes.
So the guy who doesn't wear underwear and tells people over and over again he's not wearing underwear is friends with a guy who legitimately sexually harasses people. That's fantastic.
Yep.
Anyways.
Like, yeah, it's literally It's literally sexual harassment through revenge porn, essentially.
Yeah, Iron Ken.
Because even though it's fake, you're literally like, creating like shit. It's sexual harassment. It's disgusting.
Yep.
With this dude, And it didn't go anywhere. And honestly, I think his name was Mike. We'll pretend it's Mike. Because I'm using bullshit names for so many people anyway. So Mike, I like Mike. Mike, I feel like Mike and I could have had some beers. If it was over any other topic, Mike and I probably would have had some beers. And I had some mutual friends who had really nice things to say about Mike. So like, Mike probably not a bad dude.
I don't think anybody should have beers with you unless they make sure there's cobra venom in your end.
Just keeps
Yeah, because not gonna lie, I will say as well, because for some reason some people don't get this, the whole, oh, you can't do guilt by association. If you're following on someone on Twitter, right, and you're following along, that is when you can go, maybe don't do guilt by association. Assuming that someone like blows up cars because they find out at the same time as you that their friend's been doing that. If, you know, all this kind of stuff, that is where guilt by association is a fair criticism. When someone knows what a person's like and they are friends with them, to be friends with someone, you have to have compatibility and you have to have in-synced morals, not to a detailed extent, but if you're someone who is grossed out by sexual harassment, you would not be friends with someone who sexually harasses people. So therefore, if Kenny's friends with people who sexually harasses people, then that by nature means that he's clearly not grossed out by it.
Nope, he likes it. Anyways.
really bad company. Speaking of bad company, the juicy tidbits, there are no juicy tidbits in the conversation with Mike, right? Like, if you want to know what we talked about, go read the first 1,200 pages of the his tank thread. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, there's shit for days. The handwritten letter to Ryan, the fucking mouthing off the customer.
Boo-hoo, boo-hoo, he said mean things, so I'm gonna harass him.
Who just have, like, regular normal complaints, like, why doesn't your website work? Or where's my product? Or, fucking Kickstarter companies that send you a piece of paper that you have to warm up your figures to use them, or Bush League, and then turns around and does the same fucking thing, but then gaslights customers into thinking that toys don't have problems, even though
He'd never gaslit anybody. You don't know what that word means. This guy needs a thesaurus and a dictionary for his birthday.
he literally sent us all a fucking piece of paper that said they did.
Mm-hmm.
Another...
all of the same old, right? At some point in this,
So many memes.
Lemmy Winks comes back over.
They're not even
I
good
don't.
memes.
We threw a couple tits for tats, right? Nothing crazy. He mouthed off. He was basically getting Mike, if that's his name, basically being like, yo, we're wrapping up, whatever. Bobby says it's time to go, I think was what I said, and I said something to Lemmy Winks along the lines of, yeah, you better listen to your boyfriend. And then Mike turned around, and this is when Mike really lost like 4 points in my book. Like, Mike, I thought we were boys. I thought you didn't have a horse in the race. He's like, that's unacceptable. That's not okay. And I'm like, wait, I can be a disgrace to fatherhood, and I can be a coward hiding in the blanket of freedom, and I can be a piece of shit, and
Yes, because you are.
and you can fucking threaten to take food out of my kid's mouth by threatening to sue me over some jokes
Yeah.
and all this shit. But I say that Bobby and Lemmy Winks are boyfriends, and like that's over the line. Like, y'all either got a skewed moral compass or you're homophobic as fuck. Because like Bobby has definitely referred to Ryan as my bud.
Okay, but that's Bobby. That's Bobby referring to your friend like that. It's not this Mike guy. Mike might very well have an issue with Bobby doing that too. How is that Mike having a skewed moral compass? You have the skewed moral compass. Now, granted, I don't think Bobby should be doing that either. Frankly, because I think Bobby could be more clever about that, because I know he has the brains for it, obviously, and I think he's above that. But, like, you getting mad at Mike for his values, saying, well, Bobby, you weren't even talking about Bobby. Idiot.
No, I think the funny thing is that every single...
Uh-oh, did I lose her again?
No, I'll be right back.
Okay. Then we shall continue.
I think he referred to Ryan as my bud buddy that night. That rings a bell. I don't give a fuck. I love Ryan. I'm not going to fuck him in the ass no matter how many times someone calls him my boyfriend.
What a thing to say.
So, if you get offended by that, maybe it's because you're on the
Okay, so apparently it wasn't Ironkin who made the threat, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was him.
fence and you're struggling with that. So they load up, and the whole time Bobby has been over here getting talked to by people. I've heard in retrospect some of the conversations that went on with him.
Why don't you mention the shots you took at people's PTSD, Kenneth? Do it. Don't be a pussy.
But those aren't my stories to tell. Doesn't matter. He didn't listen. Suffice to say, they go to get back on the elevator, the three of them, and they're really grumpy. And then at one point, by far the greatest moment of the night, and I'm not going to name who because again, not my place. I should have asked him if he cared, but anyways, not my place. Fucking Lemmy Winks is walking from like the hallway to the elevator, and somebody, a beautiful human, standing there, just goes like fucking, boom,
Okay.
gives him the nipple. Yeah, like grown man just flashed Lemmy Winks a nipple on the way to the elevator for no reason, just a bare ass male nipple, and and Lemmy Winks goes, "The fuck was that, mate?" And and the dude goes, "I don't know, man, but it's something."
So if that was done to a woman, that would be constituted as sexual harassment. But you're fine with it as long as it's done to a dude, and you think it's funny. Huh.
I'm back.
Let me go ahead and rewind. I want you to hear this part. Okay? Let me know when you're
Okay.
ready.
Yep.
What the
Ready.
fuck was that, mate?
Okay, let me get to the right part.
Yeah, like, grown man just flashed Lemmy Winks a nipple on the way to the elevator for no reason, just a bare-ass male nipple. And, and Lemmy Winks goes, "What the fuck was that, mate?" And, and the dude goes, "I don't know, man, but it's something."
So what do you think of that?
Wait, I didn't really understand what he was trying to say.
Let's go back.
By far the greatest moment of the night.
Here we
I'm
go.
not gonna name who because again, not my place. I should have asked him if he cared, but anyways, not my place. Fucking Lemmy Winks is walking from like the hallway to the elevator, and somebody, a beautiful human, standing there, just goes like fucking, boom, gives him the nipple. Yeah, like grown man just flashed Lemmy Winks a nipple on the way to the elevator for no reason, just a bare ass male nipple. And and Lemmy Winks goes, "What the fuck was that, mate?" And and the dude goes, "I don't know, man, but it's something." And they get on the elevator, and then we fucking stood around and laughed about it for like another 45 minutes and drank and laughed at how fucking absurd.
So what do you think about one dude flashing another dude a nipple for no reason?
It's strange.
I'd file under
It's strange.
I'd file it under sexual harassment because I think if you do that to a woman, you'd probably get in a lot of trouble, and I think it should be similar.
I mean, it may just be me, I guess. Like, if I was in an... Oh, no, in an elevator.
It was while they were waiting.
Yeah, no, I think I would feel a bit... Oh, while the... Yeah, I don't know, because, like... I'm trying to think... I'm just trying to put myself into that, shoes since I'm a woman. And, like, we're doing the whole gender swap thing. I think if some guy like flashed his nipple at me, I think I would just be weirded out, I guess. And maybe that's just because like you see men like topless more often, I guess. I would definitely be very like confused and put off though.
Mm-hmm.
I would be very like, I don't understand it. It wouldn't really be funny. I would just be like, what's this guy's deal? Like at all. Like I didn't understand the thing that he said after doing it.
He just said, "I don't know, man."
Like what did he say? That...
Tony responded.
Oh,
to the
I
guy.
don't know, man. It's something.
Yeah,
okay.
So let's get through
It
this.
was that this fucking ex-military and his hat.
Yeah, no, it's very strange. I was just trying to be honest.
No, I gotcha.
Because like I don't want to say that it's like the worst thing ever because I think I would just be very like put off and confused by the guy. But yeah.
Toy design boyfriend and his fucking ex-brother-in-law showed up in the lobby to fight me over a legitimately funny t-shirt and a lot of legitimately funny jokes. Like, listen, like I don't
Yes, it's legitimately funny, which is why you have to keep explaining that it's funny.
have an ego, but you're not gonna tell me that my fucking memes weren't fire.
Your memes are absolute dog crap. Like this dude actually says he thinks his memes are fire. It's amazing.
No, they're not. No, they're not, dude. If they're the only things going for you and they're bad.
I have fucking Hasbro employees coming up to me in person still, being like active and past Hasbro employees being like, "Oh shit, you're Kennyverse Kenny. That shit's fucking hilarious." I've had non-Hasbro industry people come up to me being like, "That shit was fucking hilarious." There you have it. That's the...
Yeah, the people who get criticized like the fact that you're beefing with the guy who criticizes them. Surprise, surprise.
probably the most abridged version that I could give. But it still might be the most complete.
Oh, so you have no recollection of nibble flash. It's flat out lie. Well, if that's true, then he just made up some really weird thing about another man's nipple.
Version that I can
And I do believe you, Tony.
give by myself. Nothing can beat standing in the lobby of Joe Fest or AR or another show with people who were there and having people fill in the holes. Because again, there's 50 different perspectives on what happened that night. I'm just the perspective that was in the middle of this short shitstorm that all this hate was focused at.
Sorry, I'm
Like,
being slow.
you know, I asked my cousin about finding out that his cousin was upstairs about to get his ass beat out of the blue while he was downstairs doing Jaeger shots or Fireball with Emoji 13 or whatever, right? Like,
Like,
and I asked the
throw
opinion of the
up a
guy who was filming the
lung.
video across the room. Asked the opinion of the straight up homie who drove me away so I didn't get my head bashed in by an alcoholic cosplayer. Like,
He's not a cosplayer if he's wearing his own military uniform. I know that you're not used to using right words, but maybe try not to disparage armed forces people when you've done literally nothing but cry about people taking the piss out of other toy lines and lying about people and backing sexual harassers. You're a real smart guy.
There was so much going on that night, but this is a drunken recount of a drunken evening. So the details are fuzzy. That probably won't stop the Bear Douche's lawyers from trying to sue me because this is defamation that you put your perspective on the evening and that you had an opinion.
No, but if Bobby did choose to sue you or take you to court over your lying about what you were doing, then you know what? You deserve it. You deserve it.
Different than Bobby Volas. I just hope it was entertaining. I don't care about the view count. It feels good to just kind of get it out there. At the end of it, you can love Bobby Vala. I don't care. You can love Valaverse. I don't care. You can think it's the greatest toy line since sliced bread. I don't care. I sell it in my store. I mean, I don't buy it direct from him because I'll never give him another fucking dollar. But I buy collections that come in, and I make money off of him without giving him money. I mean, I gave him money for the second Kickstarter, but I scalped everything at a profit, even though it was open.
Yeah, which is interesting because I don't know if it was true for the Kickstarter, but when you buy off his website, you actually sign a legal notice about how you're not going to do this to scalp things. So if he had that on the Kickstarter too, I love that you publicly admit to violating a contract.
So I made money.
Yeah, don't. Isn't scalping like illegal, or am I
No.
just? Is that just wish fulfillment on my end?
It depends on the context, but no, usually it's not.
Off of him.
Alright.
Shout out to that too, by the way. I made multiple business connections. Through
So
all
it's like a
this
civil thing since he
Yes, it would be civil.
which has been profitable. And
yeah.
Also made quite a few sales. People come to
Well, it
the
would be civil anyway, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I'm
Anyways,
just being dumm.
continue.
at the second Joe Fest that he tried to get me banned at, being like, hey, I want to give you money. Or another commission over both that he tried to get me banned at, that people were like, sorry, he's a douchebag, let me buy some stuff. So, shout out. That's really what this is all about. Fuck Bobby. Like, this shit don't matter, right? Like, at the end of
It doesn't matter. That's why I did a 44-minute video and why I've done like targeted harassment for over a year and a half. Because it doesn't matter.
the day, this comes down to hashtag FBV. Fuck Bobby Vala. Fuck the drama. Fuck Lemmy Winks. Fuck the fucking dude running around with a COVID mask. Fuck all of them, right? Because it doesn't matter. Like, fuck these people who want to come in and try to railroad a community and take it over. Because that's not what it's about.
How is producing a product people like railroading a community taking over? Oh wait, that's right, because he's not Hasbro. Because you gotta suck on the Hasbro toes.
At the end of the day, telling the story, sure. Is it
The
fucking Bobby
Hasbro
Vala?
male
Yeah, whatever.
nipple is
Okay.
where it's at.
What it
Apparently,
really is a testament to the G.I. Joe community. I'm talking about that crowd that shows up at Joe Fest, that shows up at AR.
it's a testament to the GI Joe community that I target harass somebody and I get no consequences because I'm diffusing situations because I'm scared of getting violence on me.
That shows up at NJCC. I'm talking about the crowd on his tank. I'm talking about the crowd in the Classified Elite group on Facebook.
No. He wasn't even. The thing is, oops, my thing. He's not even. He wasn't even afraid of like violence happening to him in like a justifiable way, because there was not a single person who was even stood in a way that would imply violence. So he's just an all-around pussy.
Correct. Anyways,
I'm talking about those down-ass motherfuckers. The G.I. Joe community is one of the coolest communities I have ever been a part of.
they're cool. They think sexual harassment's fine. They're my friends.
And yeah, man, every year I go to Joe Fest and I get 50 plus dude hugs, and it's awesome. And I have, Ninja Force Arcane is my favorite G.I. Joe. I don't even belong with these people. I like shit they all hate.
Yeah, you probably belong in prison considering your buddies are sexual harassers.
And they welcome me with open arms. It's ironic. Like, Bobby Vala's been involved in like 3 of the most like touching fucking toy community moments I've ever had, and they've all been in the Joe community. And one of them was with like a Grail level prototype that I was able to get because he was selling them after he left Hasbro. Another one was the 10 to 15 people who reached out to me after Bobby sent me a cease and desist threatening to sue me, who volunteered to help pay for legal bills.
Even though you clearly didn't do anything to actually defend yourself.
They didn't pay. I got a lawyer by myself. You bully fuck.
Oh, it's bullying to send a legal notice when you violate laws. Ah, bullying. Bullying, but not a harassment campaign. That's not bullying.
But they offered, and that was touching. And the third man was
This guy needs to get
Standing
into
there
a
on,
real fight.
Yeah, you can always tell when somebody's never been punched in the mouth.
in that lobby Saturday night when I thought, like, honestly, I thought, like, yeah, man, there's like 5 or 6 people
Yeah,
here.
it keeps
that I
on
know right
moving.
now. And then I saw the room, and I watched these motherfuckers get clowned back into the elevator by like 30 people.
They didn't get clowned into the elevator. You're literally just continuing to lie.
And it was fucking glorious. And then the number of people who came by the booth that Sunday who were like, I'm sorry I missed it, man. I wish I could have been there. And the messages I got for weeks after. And then again, the last year at Joe Fest, like, the number of people who were out there, like, if anything goes down, I got you. Like,
This guy's talking about how like everybody hates Valaverse when their booth was literally the only one that was lined up past the door on opening day because people wanted to see what they had and wanted to buy their wares. There was not a single other booth that did that. This dude knows he's lying.
Give me tips on where they were so I could avoid them so they didn't jump in the hallway, like all that shit, man. So that's what I want people to take away from this. Yes, Bobby Vala is a bitch. Bobby Vala is a coward.
You're the one that was scared of him, and you're the one that lied to Ed, your little buddy, and we'll get into him soon, about not causing trouble while intentionally bringing things to cause trouble and leaving things at his booth to cause trouble.
Bobby Vala is an unoriginal hack, and
yes, because G.I. Joe is so original. We've never seen those concepts ever.
Bobby Vala is a hypocrite. But more importantly than that, the G.I. Joe community is one of the coolest groups of humans that I've ever been involved with. And whether it's me standing up for Eric Aranya, whether it's me standing up for Ryan.
You weren't standing up for them. You found a good reason to continue to be a dickhead and harass somebody. You're genuinely one of the worst people, and if you remove yourself from the census tonight, the world would be a better place for it.
Whether it's me respecting Ed at Joe Fest by behaving myself.
You didn't respect Ed at Joe Fest by behaving yourself. You intentionally brought things to cause trouble.
I owe a lot to that G.I. Joe community, and I pay it back. So, yo Joe. And accept no imitations.
How is it an imitation? Because you do realize the real American hero line that he worships is like a downgrade from the original G.I. Joe like doll that was made in like the 60s. So
he doesn't even care about like the G.I. Joe community or anything like that, because he literally takes the piss out of PTSD that like vets go through anyway. So It's kind of ironic.
Now, he did another video, and he did it, I think, yesterday, and we're going to look at that real quick. Thankfully, it's a much shorter one, only 8 minutes long, so let's do it.
I'm going to sit down for the third
Finally,
time
stupid shirt's gone.
in a way
Yep.
that isn't so long-winded again. I need to do an updated video about the video that I posted a week or two ago that blew up to the biggest video on my channel, thanks in part to Articulated Comic Book Art plugging it when discussing his own drama with Bobby Vala.
So another scumbag, I'm sure. I wonder if he does sexual harassment too.
And then also to Valaverse for dropping out of Joe Fest, which
They're
then
dumb either way.
Yeah.
search for Joe Fest and Valaverse, which then fed into the video. So
Yes, Vala opted not to go back to Joe Fest because they refused to hold you accountable. We'll get into that.
well, that was unexpected. First thing I want to do is I want to apologize. I want to apologize to Joe Fest. I did not mean for the show to get embroiled in the kind of drama that it's getting.
Which is why you intentionally brought problems there.
I suspected that the ultimatum was going to get dropped again.
Yes, because if you're harassing someone and that person is also a vendor, he has a right to communicate with the person who's directing this saying, hey, I'm not comfortable coming to your show when a dude who's been doing nothing but targeted harassment and trying to damage my company is there.
I did not expect them to drop an ultimatum, actually put their money where their mouth is when they don't get their way, and then start telling people to email who don't like it.
Yeah, Ryan said if you're disappointed by this news, you can politely email augustatoycomic@gmail.com and let them know politely. So is that harassment to you now?
And have retroblasting, posting some unhinged, disingenuous post like he's just guessing what's going on, like he's not Bobby's friend and wasn't talking about it yesterday with authority.
Here, let's go ahead and look at that Facebook post. So, Joe Fest and Comic Show, or Joe Fest Toy and Comic Show, has claimed Valaverse straight up refused to attend the 2024 show. BS. The organizer of Joe Fest is a squirrely type with questionable people skills on his best day. Dollars to donuts, this has everything to do with that Kenny F and the video he dropped last week or whatever. And it's true, he does. In it, he falsely claimed Valaverse stole the Action Force IP from Hasbro. A bald-faced lie from a smug caddy, zero obsessed with dude hugs, and letting us know in forensic detail in his storyline that he is and isn't wearing underpants. All while doing his utmost to disrupt, malign, and flat-out harass, target a harassment campaign with intention to damage a business, libel and slander Valaverse across the internet with unsubstantiated fire hose of falsehoods. I guarantee you, because the organizer is friends with this Claude and also doesn't watch YouTube and doesn't do drama. He's putting his head in the sand and is extremely and deliberately troublesome vendor, claiming ignorance so he can do nothing about Kenny, and then posting this public BS that Valaverse walked away. I guarantee you, this is cowardice and spin from the organizer of that show. Eventually, the toaster is gonna spring, and we're all gonna see the toast. And I bet we'll learn Ed was the one I burned to a crisp, all to protect his douchebag homie Kenny. Shake my head. Kenny, name your kid and there's a 90% chance he'll turn out to be a craphead every time. And Ed? Well, the guy is so desperate for friends he is blind to a man destroying his business relationship with real professionals. And Ed, the owner, did a LAF react, as well as a bunch of other random, like, made to harass Michael pages here.
Wait, was that about the Wait,
This is the
was that written by?
This is written by Michael.
Retroblasting?
Yes, this is written by Michael French at Retroblasting. And one person who did a LAF react was Joe Fest Toy and Comic Show, the actual page, along with several harassment pages like this, which is all these people do. Oh, and Kenny,
Wait.
I see you there.
I'm sorry. I do want to ask another thing. I'm sorry.
Listening.
Could you click off the reacts for a moment? I'm trying to. I think I'm getting bit blind. Name your kid, and there's a 90% chance
Name your
he'd
kid
turn
that.
out to be.
Name your kid Kenny, and there's a 90% they turn out to be a douchebag.
Oh right. Oh, name your kid that. Right. Okay. I got very confused, and I thought it was talking about Kenny's kids or something.
No,
I
Michael doesn't do
I
that.
knew that I probably read it wrong. I just had to read it because I was like, what? I'm pretty sure I think the thing that threw me off, I was like, I'm pretty sure they're already named. I'm just very confused.
Yep. So he says this is unhinged because he doesn't know what unhinged is, because he doesn't recognize his own behavior. And yes, very professional for Joe Fest Toy and Comic Show to respond like that. So let's continue.
Okay. Damn, bro. Retroblasting.
Spitting fire.
Jump scare, I guess.
You know, Ed's a great guy. Joe Fest is a great show.
Ed's a great guy. We'll find out.
He's in kind of a no-win situation right now, and I think that people should be empathetic to that. He's been given demands by terrorists, for lack of a better term.
A terrorist. So what's the definition of a terrorist? He called Bobby Vala a terrorist for saying, hey, if you don't get rid of this guy who's harassing me, I'm not showing up. So a terrorist is a person who uses unlawful violence and intimidation, especially against civilians, in pursuit of political aims. Unlawfully using violence and intimidation, especially against civilians in pursuit of political aims. What political aim does he have? What violence has he used? Because violence and intimidation, especially against civilians. How is he a terrorist? Come on, you lying sack of crap.
So dumb.
He's a terrorist, and I'm the G.I. Joe who's gonna fight him.
You're given an ultimatum, and if he caves to that ultimatum, who's to say where it stops, right? Like, maybe.
Let me guess, he's right wing.
Maybe Bobby doesn't.
Like I said, he follows Jordan B. Peterson.
Want another YouTube person that he doesn't like to set up. Maybe Bobby decides Fixer should be banned because he said mean things about him.
There's a difference between saying mean things about somebody and targeted harassment, which is what you do. And by the way, that's a slippery slope fallacy.
The ADF should be banned because he claims that he worked on more than 2% of the line, right? Like, where does it stop? Especially when I did nothing physically to Bobby. Jason Stone's brother. I've made some videos. I like to think that I've got the receipts for the most part. I got a couple conspiracy
You
theories,
posted
but other than that,
memes.
Yes, he posted no receipts. No receipts.
Literally, the only thing he did post, which made Bobby look kind of bad, was when they were both insulting each other. And literally the reason why Bobby looked bad was because he had shit insults. Like, that's not a gotcha.
The biggest critique to Bobby, his insults need to be harder.
I've tried to make my points in the most entertaining. But,
if he's got the same kind of insults as this guy, then you need to step up your game.
He
is
will.
what I'm saying, Bob.
I'm sure he will.
I think we should be empathetic to people in general, but specifically in this instance, he's in kind of a no-win situation when you're given an ultimatum like that. And it's a lose-lose, right? Because if he bans me, that's a slippery slope, and you get the gloating and the dunking that comes from that. Or you stand by your principles and you don't negotiate with terrorists because of the slippery slope.
How is it terrorism?
Negotiate
With terrorists. Bobby put his foot down and made his boundaries clear. That's negotiating with terrorists. Can you imagine his wife asking him to do something and him not wanting to do it? I'm not going to negotiate with a terrorist. This is terrorism.
And then you get to deal
Oh
with the
God, he would have a wife, wouldn't he?
Yep.
and public outbursts.
Oh,
of
God bless her
male
soul.
children on the internet. So, I would like to apologize to the show for that. Joefest is awesome.
Then don't go. Because you already lied about your intentions. You already lied to your buddy that you love so much, Ed. You already lied to him.
You should go to Joefest.
You can
I
literally
suggest
like a
they-
property without paying money towards like the company or anything. Like you can do that. You can have that bit of nostalgia with you without paying further money into a property and not fly off the handle like this. He does know that, right?
No, he doesn't.
Oh wait, no, of course not, because his parents didn't love him. Gosh. Or that his parents loved him too hard. It's like they clearly didn't love him the correct amount to, teach him how life works. So he was either like wrapped up in bubble wrap, or they just let like fucking toys like raise him. Either way, it's sad.
They got some big stuff coming. It's not VolFest, guys. It's Showfest. There will be vendors who will have Oliver's product for sale, no doubt. I'm sure some people will be disappointed to not have a panel to go to and to not be able to take a picture with the protos and stuff, but it's a great show. It's going to be a great show. Second thing I would like to do is that I would like to clarify a couple things. I do not hate Bobby Vala. I do not hate Voliverse. I do not care if you buy Voliverse.
But you spent an unnormal amount of time obsessing over him, and you still are obsessing over him. But you don't hate him. You don't hate him, guys. Guys, I don't hate him. I obsess, but I don't hate him. I swear, guys, I don't hate him.
I sometimes sell Voliverse when I buy it from people. Not from him, but from people. So, I don't care what you collect. You can customize your Voliverse figures as My Little Ponies. I don't care. Okay? I'm talking about the personal experiences that I'm having with a public persona. Or I'm commenting on or parodying the behavior of a public person. That does not mean that I think that he should be banned from any.
So let me get this straight. If Bobby decides to use his larger platform, since you're also a public figure, to just roast the living daylights out of you, post your images, maybe pictures of your house, whatever he feels like doing, you'd be fine with that, right? Because you're a public figure as well.
Or that he shouldn't be allowed to make toys, or that his toys are the worst thing under the sun, or whatever the fanboys and that. Oh, you don't like Bobby, so you love Hasbro. You love Hasbro.
I mean, they're right, though. That's why you keep saying it's a stolen property. He hijacked it.
That ain't it, okay? If Bobby can run his mouth about Hasbro and still buy the line and not hate Hasbro, he's just holding him to task. He's just going hard in the paint. What's the difference?
Hasbro's not gonna kiss you, dude.
But they will, remember? I've had former and current Hasbro employees tell me my memes are fire, which explains why the toys are such dog crap that they think his memes are
They're not
fire.
gonna. No, dude, Kenny, please. Just like in school and all through college and shit. Doubt you went there, but like all through school, bro, they're not gonna fucking date you. They don't want anything to do with you. Get over it. Move on.
I still got a Popeye up there. I still have toys. Finally, I need to specifically address something that GI Chud or whatever was doing. I think when you get close to doxing people, it's not cool. I do not own a business. I actually, Kennyverse is not a business. It's a joke. The whole joke is that it's original, but it's not, because anyways, I don't have time to explain it. I'm trying to keep this short, damn it. I don't own a business. I have a 9 to
He's
5.
so
I punch a 9
dumb.
o'clock.
Of course he is.
Trying to come at the business that I work for in retaliation to me because I said things about a toy company that you apparently don't collect is bitch made.
Bitch made, says him.
Yep. So it's a bad thing for you to tell my employer that I'm doing targeted harassment. And dude, how is that doxing? Did they publicly post who you work with? And even so, if you've made that public on your profile, that's still not doxing.
The fact that he even confused me with another fat bald guy and then doubled down on
If
it.
you're, I've got a bit of info. Sorry, I've got a bit of a tip for anyone watching and for this guy. If what you do on the internet is something that you wouldn't want your boss to find out, maybe don't do that.
You would think. You would think.
Claim that I was lying,
You are lying, and in general you're lying, but I don't blame the other guy for confusing you with another fat bald guy, because you guys did genuinely look alike.
you want to come to my channel and you want to challenge me, feel free. I don't filter comments. I don't delete comments. I don't block people, unlike some people. But leave my job out of it.
Or else what? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Cry? If you get fired,
Doesn't he realize?
Go ahead.
Doesn't he genuinely realize that, like, most normal people, if someone went up to someone's fucking employer and goes, look at this, look at what he does in his free time on it online, most people's employers wouldn't give a fuck, because most people, I hope, fingers crossed, are just normal losers who like things the normal amount. But this guy does like a load of targeted harassment. If he didn't do that, there wouldn't be any reason for your boss to be mad.
correct. So if somebody calls you or your employer, there's only one way he'd find out, and that's through you, who you're employed by. So you screwed yourself on that. Welcome to accountability.
That's all. I have a family. I'm our provider. What I do in my free time is my free time, and I'm
a provider, but I don't
Oh
protect
yeah,
that.
because doesn't he also realize that, like, you may not be on the clock, but if you're being employed, if, for instance, I was a boss and I found out that one of my employees was constantly harassing people in their free time, I would start side-eyeing them and going, you know what, I don't really want this person on my team, because they've proven that they can't work with people, and when it doesn't go their way, they're going to fly off the handle and start doing outrageous shit over toys. Never mind what would happen if it was anything more serious. So you would want that person off your team. It doesn't care if that you're on time or not. It's about your personality. And a lot of people who get employed over other people, even though they've got the same qualifications, it's about what kind of person they are. And if you're proving yourself to be a liability, then that's a you problem.
Correct. All right, almost done here.
You know, the way I choose to express myself is mine and mine alone. And
yeah, just like how their
trying
employer
to-
can express themselves
Right.
by kicking you off the team if they want.
Correct.
My job into it is low level. I get it. People are like, oh, you're talking about Bobby's job. It's like, yeah. Bobby's the CEO of the company. Bobby's the head of his YouTube channel. Bobby's the face of his company. Bobby's the public face, literally, like, in the fucking, you know, it's in the thing, right? Like, he is Oliver. He is Action Force, right? Like, I got fucking told that repeatedly in the lobby by the drunk Australian. Like, so, you can't talk about those without him. But, like, loose action figures, you want to talk about loose action figures, the YouTube channel, that's me. My job is a team of incredibly hardworking people. I'm a link in that chain. And, this ain't the place for that. I can't imagine this video's actually gonna matter. Makes me feel better, that's what matters. But listen, guys, be better, and maybe wonder why he's so against me being at Joe Fest.
Because you're a serial harasser and you're fine with sexual harassment. You're a creep, you're a stalker, and you're a weirdo.
Even though he's had a physical altercation with me, but I've never done anything physically to him.
He's never had a physical altercation with you. You don't know what that word means.
Again, sticks and stones, man. Like, so maybe ask yourself.
Sticks and stones means that they would hurt your ass because you're a stupid bitch.
And his
Dude.
crew
Yep.
want to silence me so badly. I'm going.
Well, the thing is, he also said, I missed it in the previous stream, like, Bobby threatened me with legal action, which could take food out of my kids' mouths. And, like, that would not be him taking food out of your kids' mouth. That's you, because you're not smart enough to think three-dimensionally about how your actions will affect other people. Don't be a scumbag.
Yeah, if you care more about toys than the well-being of your kids, then maybe you should have thought about that before having kids.
I'm sure the kids are probably just a byproduct of fun time. You probably didn't
But
think
now-
that through either.
Yeah, but now he's got kids, right? We'll assume he wants them, right? We'll assume that he cares for them. But you have to actually think. You can't go, oh, well, it's my free time. Oh my god,
No.
You can't go about. I thought I got kicked out. Sorry,
No.
it's because you closed the stream.
It's okay.
You can't you can't go like, okay, now I'm in dad mode and now I'm on public serial harasser mode because it's your free time. If you care about your kids, you're going to give them a good role model and you're going to make sure that you can put food on the fucking table and not lose all of that because you're mad about fucking toys not being made by Shitsbro anymore. Calm down, dude.
New name for Hasbro. But yeah, like, these people, this is what they always act like. And yeah, I've seen the scumbags.
Has been, bro. No, not shits, bro. It's has been, bro. I apologize for just being vulgar for vulgar's sake.
Well, there's also has blow, has
No.
low. There's a whole slew of different names. But that's how these people always act.
All of them are better than mine.
They always do that. Well, we're the ones not being toxic. And meanwhile, every person you find backing these people, they have histories of scumbag behavior. Junkman's there, Boog Nice is there, Talker Art's there, or not Talker Art. Iron Kin's there. I think Talker Art's a scumbag too. He's just not on their side of the fence for some reason. All of them are scumbags in one way or another, either because they're weak, like Boog is, or because they're a sexual harasser, like Iron Kin is, or because they're just scumbags like this guy. And they're all just evil individuals who are trying to paint themselves as being decent ones. Because, look at the His Tank guys. They agree with me. Yeah, the His Tank guys on that thread are absurd lunatics to the man. Any of them that are sitting, and one of them, and I know you're going to see this. I know you're going to hear this. I want you to pay very close attention. The one of you who works for DC Comics that doesn't want that to get out, I know who you are, and I watch what you say. Think about your next move. Because what's happening now is going to get to a very high fever point at some point online. Because sooner or later, somebody's going to cyberbully a politician, and all of everybody's stuff is going to be attached to everything they do. So before you start being a goon thinking you're always going to have anonymity, you will screw up at some point. You people always do. And I love watching you guys freak out when you realize, oh my God, my name, my job, and everything's tied to my scumbag actions. It's amazing. I love that.
Yeah, because the online space isn't some magical fairyland where once you turn off and go sit downstairs to watch your fucking 10th fucking go round of fucking Thundercats, like, it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist anymore. It still exists. What you put out there is, funnily enough, more public and tied to you more than what you do in your private life. So you can't go pretending that it's not you, because that's what most people will see you as, including people who know you outside of the internet.
Correct. Now we're going to go through the super chats before we hop off here. I read first too, but Sonny sends one for $2. Hi, Lio. I was about to sleep, but you're the goat. Vinkman for $20. Lio, I have an important question. Why did you take the moon again? Because you take the moon, and you take the moon, and you take the Lindenauer. $2. I would lose it if they call each other. They would lose it if they call each other bozos. Nah, I think Tony and Bobby was just fine. Hordak for $5. The guy is a jerk and getting support from Toy Guru, Boog, and Junkman. Boog is still losing it in his comment section on his video about all this towards me. He's really up in his feelings. And Toy Guru, it's been 9 months and you haven't responded to my challenge of a debate, you pussy. CT Shun for $10. He speaks low because his brain has to buffer every word he's saying. And the sad thing is that video was almost 2 times speed. He's genuinely that slow. Another one from CT Shun, $5. Obligatory Peaches-based movement. Or comment. CT Sean for another $10. Even he is not laughing at his memes. He sits in dead silence and waits for other people to laugh, like a human version of a bad sitcom where the laugh tracks have been removed. Pathetic and uncomfortable. True. Dreamer72, your very first super chat to me. Thank you. $5. Gonna buy a figure for my dad for Xmas. He was a huge G.I. Joe fan as a kid, so thanks for putting this on my radar. Kenny is lame. I recommend, if you really want to get your dad a figure that's going to hit him right in the nostalgia, you need to go to Valorverse.com and pick up any of their Sergeant Slaughter figures. They are genuinely good figures. Cocobop Jammer for $5. Hello, Lio. Hope you have a good rest of your week and you have a good weekend. We'll see. Cocobop Jammer for another $5. Also, have you ever watched people design their own dolls? I recommend Delightful if you're interested. I think you might like it. Maybe. Danny Rackpuss for $5. Imagine making this man the face of your YouTube channel and he complains about how people are calling him out for being a piece of garbage. Well, toys over principles. Don't you know that? Don't you know? Toys over principles. Now, there was somebody who did a membership one. I don't know where to find that. Let's see if I can pull
I can still see them.
Oh, can you pull out the membership one?
So you got CT Shun, who members for 4 months, saying Kennedy jump scare. Then you've got Lousy Lou Loser saying, "Oh dang, here we go again." Member for 4 months.
Thank you. So, real quick chat before we say the final thing and close out. I don't think, and I'm sorry to say it, I don't think Kenny is Knuff. So pay attention before you type. I want a 1 in chat if you do not think he is Knuff, and a 2 in chat if you do think he is Knuff.
If you think about it, Ken is like a huge incel, so
Yeah, but he's like wholesome.
I love him. I love Ken so much. He's my everything.
The ones have it. Now again, I'm going to do like a edited, dedicated video this weekend to all of this, so because I know that'll spread a lot quicker than a like 2-hour, 3-hour stream. Because this dude is a scumbag, and I want to bury him. And on top of that, since we want to get all nasty and make comments about people, maybe we should email Hasbro and let them know that their IP is being ruined by some freaks. Maybe that's an idea. Or is that terroristic? Am I threatening violence? Let me know. Oh, and also let me know when the Fox Mafia people show up, because I would love for you guys to join up with them. That'd be amazing. Now, to Ed. Ed Schumacher, I think his name is. Yes. I need to verify some things, Ed, and I want you to listen. Because there was a guy last year who came into a G.I. Joe group and said, one of your members just drove 200 plus miles to my toy shop to meet up with a kid. I am giving you one chance to leave these groups and all these groups unless I out you. Why'd you leave, Ed? And why'd you lawyer up? Valid questions.
Oh, damn.
And then people started deleting that person talking about these things. So, Ed, if I find out that is you, if I do find out, you're done. Because the nice thing about this, Ed, is I can easily get a hold, because I know where they work. I can get a hold of the guy who did it. I can make sure a witness statement is made. I can make sure, if at all possible, a report is filed against you. And then I'm going to burn you to the ground. If it is you. If not, chill, man. Won't say anything about it. But if it is you, I'm going to find out. And you can say goodbye. You can say goodbye to your convention. You can say goodbye to your job. And you can say goodbye to your family. If that is you, I will find out. Because it's always scumbags like you. So, to the rest of you, I hope you all have a good night. And I will see you all again very soon. Take it easy, and I'll catch you guys next time.